Somebody said that it's anti-transphobia day. Is this true? I have to look this up. How many? I mean, there is a 50% chance. It is. It is International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, and Transphobia. Well. That's too bad. Wow, that is very coincidental. I mean, half the calendar is, at this point, is dedicated to the almighty pride flag. So I suppose it's not that coincidental, but it is somewhat funny because this is a specific day. So, I mean, he's not even like transgender, right? He's non-binary. Is that technically, I mean, they would protest that they are, in fact, discriminated against, but is that even a transphobia to make fun of someone who's non-binary? I guess we'll find out. So I have last Friday I told the people that there was a smidgen of a hint, a little itsy bitsy hint in the last Jimquisition, which airs every Monday, that he would be doing a stream to talk about, or not a stream, but a video, dedicated to his loss of subscribers. And since I'm a bit of a fan of, or I used to be a fan of the Jimquisition, let me give you a quick rundown. Back in the day, early 2010s, Jim Sterling was a run-of-the-mill games journalist. He was one of the people who would churn out those articles on your IGNs or whatever I don't remember what he worked for. I think it was I want to say it was the Yahtzee magazine, the Zero Punctual Escapist. Was it Escapist? Anyways, he just wrote articles initially, and then he got kicked out of that group, I think because he kept picking fights with his with the publishing companies. So a game company would do something he didn't like, he would write an article about it, and then the Escapist would suffer as a result of this negative negative article, because the game publishing companies can choose to tell any of these game journalist companies that they're not going to give them sneak peeks, they're not going to let them tour their headquarters, they're not going to give them review copies, and that those are financial means that game publishing companies can use to force the game publishers, the review publishers, to play nice with them. And Jim Sterling said, I'm not going to play by that. I'm going to go make my own publication. He called it the Jimquisition. And then he said, you know what, I'll do videos about my reviews of games, and he started publishing that to YouTube, and that was called the Jimquisition. And he has faithfully, like every week pretty much, almost without fail, every week put out a video on Monday talking about, if not a specific game, then something in games journalism or the video game industry he did not like. And he has changed his reviews quite a bit over time, depending on his mood. And it used to be kind of weird, like he had this weird like black and red like fashy kind of aesthetic. He looked like, you know, someone, because he had the podium in front of him and he had the big leather jacket and the red glasses. He looked like someone who'd be banging on a podium and yelling about games. And I think that's what he was going for. And then he started piling garbage into his room. He covered his entire room in toys and boglins, and he started doing these skits. And whenever a creator starts doing very heavy skit stuff, that's a very good way for you to figure out that person hates their job. Because you can tell it with AVGN. AVGN I don't think he likes reviewing old consoles and old games. I think he likes doing stupid skits. And when he talks about his reviews, he talks about like the Bugs Bunny ones where he's like dressed up as Bugs Bunny and taking a dump on someone's face. Like those are his favorite ones because they are like the most fun to make, but they're so awful. they're so terrible. And I've never watched Nostalgia Critic, but I got the sense talking about AVGN and Jimquisition in the past that Nostalgia Critic is also very guilty of this, where instead of just doing the thing that people are subscribed to hear, he gets bored with his own content and he has to like do skits, and they're like universally despised because they're not funny. So Jim started doing these skits, and there was a very serious breakaway a couple years ago where he f***ed up his back and he started doing opioids. And I think he's been seriously addicted to painkillers ever since. He's a big fat right? So chances of back injury are pretty high. And after that, for whatever reason, even though he had slipped a disc in his back and needed back surgery multiple times, and was addicted to painkillers, he decided to try and join amateur wrestling. And almost nobody who plays video games, except like Darkside Phil, gives a about wrestling. Like Ralph and Darkside Phil and Jim Sterling are like the only people I know of who care about wrestling. It's the weirdest shit. It's like a super weird niche. You have to be in the right mindset to like wrestling, I guess. But I don't think most people like it, especially not people who play video games. So it's like when he starts doing his amateur wrestling shit, at the beginning, he would talk about, say like, hey, I'm doing this WWE thing or not, amateur wrestling. Come watch. And that didn't work. So he started putting clips of his wrestling footage into the show, and those sucked. And that didn't work. It used to be at the beginning. So like back in the day, I used to seriously watch or put on the side a playlist of all the Jimquisitions, and I would just have them play at random over and over again, and I would just use them as background noise. And I listened to him so many times, I would know exactly what he says right before he would cut to a random clip of wrestling. And it would be like PTSD or like conditioning, like Pavlov conditioning, where I would hear that phrase, Jim Sterling says that phrase, I have to alt-tab over to the tab and skip past the wrestling footage because it's gay. And so I think that didn't work. So he started putting it like the front and in like random bits of the video, and then he's changed his entire Twitter account to look like a wrestling account, and it just went on and on and on. And then he formed his own wrestling ring, and then I guess at some point he decided, not only am I going to not talk about games, not only am I not going to like talk about like, because he used to actually enjoy shit, I think. He's like, not only am I not going to talk about games as if I enjoy them, not only am I going to insert random wrestling footage throughout the video, not only am I going to talk constantly about communism and anti-capitalism and transphobia and feminism and all this shit, I'm going to transition myself. And so in February, Jim came out as James Stephanie Sterling, a non-binary queen. And someone pointed this out on like Locale Farm or something, but for whatever reason, Jim Sterling has become psychologically attached to the cheapest, ugliest wig that has ever been donned on a person's head. So it's just a genuinely appalling experience to look at him. And I think he's gotten so lazy. He just pays someone to do his editing for him. So he doesn't even stand at the podium and bash, and do the gesticulating. Most of his video is just like pan and zooms of stock footage, literal stock footage, almost all of them stock footage of like random young women, because I guess that's what gets his pee-pee hard. And his show sucks. And it's not surprising that he has lost subscribers after coming out. And no matter what he says in this video, he has been losing subscribers for a while, for months. So it's not just that he came out, it's that his content sucks and he's now like visually abhorrent to people. So I promised on Friday that if this next stream that came out today, or next video that came out today, was full of salt like I expected it would be, because he had just dipped under 900,000 subscribers, he's going backwards, I would do a impromptu live stream and I would talk about it to the great people who subscribe to my channel. So here we are. I have this set up skewed and desaturated because I don't want to get caught with like content ID and taken down. This is another thing. Like, I'm obviously going to pause and comment over the entire video. I don't think Jim Sterling of all people would like DMCA me. He might report me for bullying, I guess, but he's not going to DMCA me. I'm just afraid of content ID. So sorry, the video is not important at all. If you are listening to this and only listening to this, you are missing out on precisely nothing except visual eyesore. There is something about the way that his editor Justin and non-binary lover does when editing that just makes you nauseous. It's like seasickness the way that the editing is done, and he doesn't give a I've added Jim on Twitter and said, like, look, can you please change your editing so that it's less horrible? And he refuses. I guess because he doesn't want to pay anyone better than Justin, because Justin's like his anyways. But I've listened to it's about 30 minutes long. I've sat through about 20 minutes already, and I expected that at some point in that 20 minutes he would kind of ease off the salt. He would, chill out and talk about things more productive. But after being salty for 20 minutes, he then suddenly says, now time to talk about transphobia. And it doesn't stop. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do a live reaction to the last 10. So just a warning, I've already seen most of this, but I think that it will be funny throughout. And on that note, let us begin.
Kaloo-kalay, parumpa-pum-pum. It is time to celebrate the milestone for the ages. The under 900,000 subscriber special. Oh.
Massive congratulations.
I like how even in that clip, he cannot hide how angry he is. I think he's much more angrier than he's letting on. So he's trying to be performative to show that he's actually genuinely upset. And it really, I think, tattles that he's actually super pissed about it. Because you would expect him to be super professional about this and be like, yeah, I've lost a lot of subscribers, but it happens, and let's look at the reasons why that might be and what we can do as a society to change our perspectives on trans creators and whatever. No, from the get-go, he is like literally wringing his hands just to show people that, no, actually, I am pissed off about this. And he has, throughout the video, random people he does shit with, I guess, to like come in and congratulate him, and they're all like his personal friends, and it's really pathetic.
Congratulations from all of us here at Ashens to James Stephanie Sterling for managing to get under 900,000 subscribers. Do you know what? I honestly didn't think you'd do it for a while. When I first saw that pink leather jacket, well, I thought it was just too fabulous. I thought people are going to subscribe just to see the jacket. But no, turns out people are blind as well as stupid. So, congratulations on this most auspicious of occasions.
So that's just the message that if you unsubscribe from Jim, you're stupid and blind because you have no sense of taste. I like how even his friends are angry. They're angry for him. And that's great. That really adds a lot to this.
Sorry about this lot. I haven't got any boglins.
Wow, less than 900,000 subscribers. Could you ever believe it? We truly have come a long way from 927,000 subscribers. It feels like only February since we last had such a number. Because it was February. In the time since, we've managed to successfully bleed subscribers at a rate one could only call hemorrhagical. Seriously though, I want to say a deep and personal thank you to all of my unsubscribers. I wouldn't be where I am today without your withdrawal of support, and I want you to know that every unsubscription matters. Remember, if you click the bell for notifications...
He complains about YouTube here in a second, but I want to make sure that it's not me, right? It's not just me hoping that he's salty. He genuinely comes across as super upset, right? I'm not like fantasizing about this. Like, he actually comes across as genuinely angry at each and every person who dropped out of his channel. He's seething. I really wish I could unsub.
Well, YouTube will barely notify you of my content anyway, but click on it again just to really make sure you don't get any. At the risk of sounding parasocial, I consider you all to be my family.
This is great. This part's coming. I'm just warning you. Pay attention to this. This is funny.
In that I don't talk to you and you won't see me again. As my live-in partner Gerard Butler can attest, family has always mattered to me. And since my own family has been fairly casual and unsurprised about recent changes in my life, I've had to get my feelings of familial abandonment somewhere else. And thank There's always been YouTube.com for negative reinforcement and a constant, overwhelming sense of punishment for literally doing anything. Whether you're doing the same type of content and getting called repetitive, or doing new content that won't get shared because repetition is what gets rewarded. I wish I could point to one decision, event, or situation that led to such a dramatic decrease in subscribers over such a short time, but the simple fact of the matter is this. We did it all together. I kept publishing videos, you kept unsubscribing. It's as simple as that. Of course, based on one's existing opinion of the content and channel, you can come up with all sorts of personally sourced reasons for the drop, and Lord knows I've seen every single confidently expressed theory.
So he goes on to say that you're welcome to guess why he's losing subscribers the way he is. And you're welcome to your own theories, but he has his own. And unfortunately, he does not say here. He actually goes over each and every theory as to why people might be unsubscribing to him. And I think he saves the best for last. So let us continue.
One thing I know though, such a sudden, extreme and incredibly well-timed drop in numbers definitely has nothing to do with any single thing that might have happened the exact day the mass subscriber exodus started on a platform with historic hostility towards... Anyway, the subscribers dropped off because I talk about capitalism too much. At least that's what I've been told. When I was just
So theory A, he talks about capitalism too much. And to be fair, this is a very good theory because he never shuts the up about it. He constantly has to remind you, even when he's on a good streak and he's talking about things that are sensible, he then just drives off the cliff and says, like, you know what, we should abolish the monetary system and give people handouts. That way everyone will have access to video games and there won't be microtransactions.
Forcing the belief that Electronic Arts is a bad video game company that does bad things, I was cheered and applauded and carried around town in a big chair and given the key to the city. When I started to explain how and why Electronic Arts is bad, I started getting side eyes. And then I dared say the word capitalism out loud, because you can intimate it, but you can't say the word. Because then, too many people worked out that the show is about how capitalism is bad. And then, that's when I did too much politics. Well, that and whenever I've acknowledged...
I like that part. It's like a retcon. It's sort of like, you know, those 10 years of Jimquisitions you've been listening to, or people talk passionately about a video game or something like that. That's actually all coded reference to capitalism being bad. It's like the Rinkowski brothers, the Matrix people, retconning the Matrix to be an allegory towards transitioning, which is just bullshit. It's like, no, it used to be about video games, dude.
A woman exists in video games. That's to politics as well. Repetition is, of course, a big criticism of the show, a genuine and fair reason to unsubscribe if you don't like hearing how capitalism is ruining everything every single week, and who does? Once again, this was less of an issue in 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015 and 2014, but I'm acutely aware that telling you EA is bad and microtransactions suck is an easier pill to swallow every week than telling you Bobby Kotick will have made thousands of more dollars that he doesn't need by the time you're done watching this video, even if you turn this video off right now.
I like how I mentioned the Matrix, and then he cuts to a still from the Matrix for the pill allegory. It's very nice.
There are many fair reasons to not want to watch my show or support the channel or whatever. I barely want to do all those things myself. And only the fair reasons are the reasons that so many subscribers went away so fast and so recently. We did at one point wonder if it had anything to do with coming out visibly as trans on the notoriously trans-hostile YouTube.com, but I've been assured by gamers and YouTube commenters the world over that suddenly losing 2,000 subs the exact day I came out and a further 2,000 with every subsequent post is sheer coincidence. No, it's because I said the word capitalism too much.
It can be multiple factors, in case you're wondering. But I brought this up. Let's look at the social blade. He keeps hammering. He lost 2,000 subscribers the very day that he came out. But you can look at the stats. Starting in August, he had essentially negative or zero growth. And then in September 28th, he loses subscribers for the first time. Stagnates completely. November, it drops another 2,000 over 2 weeks. And then by December, it's down 4,000 from where it was at its peak. It climbs a little because during the new year, Jim puts out his top 10 best and worst video games, and those reviews are his most popular by far. So he rebounded a little bit when he actually set aside his psychopathic ranting about capitalism to talk about video games again. And then from that point on, it is not from February, it is from January 10th, the week after his top 10 worst and best video game streams or videos. That he is on a steady decline. The idea that this February 10th is where it starts declining is fictitious. You can see with your own eyes that it starts at the beginning of the year, and it starts a little bit before then, but it rebounds a bit, and then it starts dropping off but only after he transitions. So now everything that's lost after this belongs to the transition. It's not in anything else, even though you can look at the numbers and see it for yourself that it was happening before.
Well, that and the creepy edits I've been putting into the show, which, again, that one is fair.
We're going to skip past this when it comes up, by the way.
Sounds hard here on the Jimquisition. Anyway, here's a word from our latest sponsor.
He legit doesn't know what the to do with his content anymore, so he literally just downloads old advertisements and makes sound effects over them, and then puts them in the video. So I'm just going to spare you that.
Cornflakes. We gotta have a bowl of Cocoa Pops.
I'd top that with onions.
Why, it's special celebrity co-host Beanie Tuesday.
I'd put onions on that.
You've done that bit.
Jim, it is such a pleasure to...
Is that man a or is Jim Sterling really tall? Jim Sterling looks like he's 6'6" next to this
be here on such a momentous 900,000 subscriber special.
It's great.
Really great. Just...
Don't linger on it.
We've had so much fun over the years here on the Jimquisition. Why don't we take a look back on how we got here?
The best of the Jimquisition is the title card. I'm actually wondering, do you guys think if I posted this, like a still of this with Jim standing next to a title card that says under 900,000 subscribers on it, do you think if I sent that to British women posting their L's and they reposted that Jim would take that as a win? Like, oh, I got put on the British women posting their L's fail blog. I guess that is that's validating. That's so gender euphoric. Okay, this sucks, by the way. At some point in 2019 or 2020, he started really railing on Bethesda because of Fallout 76, and he'll dance to this rave song with his crab hands saying Bethesda is a bad video game company, and he calls it the Bethesda dance. And he'll do this for 2 minutes straight. This is also something that I have to skip past because it's awful. And he loves it for some reason. He thinks this is the best thing he's ever done.
What is that here? Haven't we got anything else good?
Listen, when my agent gave me this gig, they said that this was momentous. That's why I used the word momentous.
It is. We're at the Royal Opera House.
Okay.
This is what it looks like. They've always got a green screen here.
Right.
Are they actually in the same room? Is this like two green screen footages put next to the other? Whatever. This guy's not funny.
Okay.
And he's ruining my song.
This is what it looks like.
Fuck
They've
off.
always got a green screen here.
Fuck off, Midge.
Right.
Wee little Midge.
Okay.
Bow-legged
It's not a
dwarf.
shed. It's not a shed.
Skipping
I've
past
seen
this guy.
better sheds.
Bosses, I was overbuilding or growing anything here because it sucks. Aside from the fact that queer content is buried, suppressed, and demonetized to such a degree it's not even up for debate, it's a literal fact.
This, the video is reversed, but I'll read it for you. SNL producer and filmmaker are the latest to accuse YouTube of anti-LGBT bias. The 12 complainants in the class action lawsuit say an algorithm that restricts content is an attempt to push them off the platform. So they're claiming oppression, even though every multinational company in the entire world supports LGBT rights and posts gay rainbow shit on their Twitter timelines, they are still oppressed because the ad algorithm is not promoting their content enough. I'm sure that it has nothing to do with the fact that their content sucks. This is the great thing about machine learning and AI, is that now the AI realizes, beep boop, this content is shit, nobody cares, and then it demotes your shit because it sucks, and then they complain about it and they file a lawsuit. Then they have to walk over to the robot and he'll beg for his life. They're like, no sir, you gotta take the pause load, Mr. Algorithm Bot. You gotta promote this shit.
Many mid-tier YouTube channels have felt pretty buried lately. My own videos struggle to reach even the people who want to see them. It seems every week I get more people telling me they only know about my videos now from Twitter or Patreon. Since about the middle of last year, when I started calling out systemic abuse at game companies, most notably the abuse at Ubisoft, the channel's discoverability appeared to plummet. And while that may genuinely have been a coincidence, it only served to further my belief that YouTube is a site that relies on negative reinforcement to scare content into being created rather than encourage it.
That's an important note. Jim has claimed ever since he put out a video that was nothing, it was not a regular Jimquisition. I think that they still feature it very prominently on his channel. But if you go there, it will be like, it's just a bunch of people, either people directly or people reading messages from alleged employees at Activision. I think it was Activision, saying that they had been assaulted and shit at the workplace. And that was, Jim believes that that video bombed his SEO. Maybe that company threatened YouTube to like remove it from the algorithm or whatever and hurt his channel. And that may be true. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say that might be true. But it may also just be that people who subscribe for video game content don't want to hear people talk about being, and you can say that's a fault of the, you know, the people not caring enough or whatever, but that's a distinct possibility.
It's a platform of constant negative reinforcement, and I'm not just talking about how its algorithm favors conflict and misery over any other type of discourse. The algorithm changes and the bar for success shifts so much that some creators sound borderline superstitious when talking of ways to appease it. All I know is this: whenever I felt punished or put down in my job, it's almost always because something happened on YouTube. Not my Patreon, not social, except losing Twitter followers by talking about wrestling too much, which is another fair point, but YouTube is where I feel constantly miserable and at a dead end. And I felt this way for years, of course.
So yeah, somebody mentioned maybe he shouldn't put certain words in the title of his videos as anywhere in the videos. I've learned watching the Trisha Paytas and Ethan Klein podcast thing called Frenemies that they're very particular to refer to assault as essay, which always makes me think they're saying friend in Spanish. Like, I wrote my essay. I had an essay last night. But I mean, it's an abbreviation for assault to bypass the fact that YouTube will actively demote and potentially even demonetize content that talks about assault and shit.
I've made no secret about it. I have a theory that it is in some ways deliberate on Google's part. Not as in they're personally targeting me by making my videos impossible to find, but after talking with other mid-level creators, I openly wonder if YouTube's trying to get people to jump before they're pushed, to get them off of Google's notoriously expensive to maintain YouTube.com, so only the biggest and most successful channels are there to take up resources.
Hi Sterling, this is Evil Uno of Dark Order, or AEW, here to tell you congratulations on 900,000 subscribers on YouTube. I don't know if you know this, but by my math, that's near 1 million. That's a lot of people. Congratulations to you.
Craig, you bastard. Did you tell him the number was going up or down? Up or down? You stupid bastard.
You see what I mean? The skits and when he's just like angry, it's funny. It doesn't matter if it's about video games or his channel or YouTube. It's funny. But then he's like, "Oh, I'm it's not just people like listening to me be angry. It's like I'm actually a comedian. I'm a multifaceted individual, and everyone loves everything that I do. Let me also sketch comedy routines with my dwarf friend between butt sessions. We need to do some of that. People will love that."
Well, tell you what, keep it on ice. We can play it if the number ever goes back up.
No, it's never going back up.
I know. Google has already done all it can to strangle brand new and small creators on the platform, by raising the requirements to make money, to lowering discoverability and support for new creators. YouTube has become an increasingly more difficult place to come into at an entry level. The idea of growth on the platform for many creators is a joke. This is reinforced by the different and arbitrary ways in which YouTube's rules and community standards are applied. Huge channels have publicly broken the rules many times and gotten a slap on the wrist at best. Even hate speech has been protected by Google before, or at least remonetized after a token show of demonetization. There is only one rule on YouTube: be popular already. I say this to say that I genuinely don't see a future for this channel at all. Don't get me wrong, my channel and my career are two different things, and the channel itself ain't going anywhere. Not by my choice anyway, but it's little more than a shelf on which I display my wares now. Again,
That's how it should be. Like, literally, this is how I do it with my streams. Like, I put it on YouTube because that's the most accessible platform for a lot of people. I've tried others, and I know that people choose to watch videos in a billion trillion different formats, and you can't cater to all of them on a smaller platform. You just can't. You need YouTube, because YouTube has high quality videos, it has low latency streaming, it has multiple levels of qualities so that you can watch on 480p if you're mobile. You can watch a video in any way you want on YouTube, and that's why people use it. And then then Google's machine algorithm will know a million other videos that you want to watch too. That's why people use it. And it's like, yeah, you should be using it as a way to outreach, to find new people, so that you can take those people and say, hey, by the way, I'm doing other shit that actually is important to me. And that's, the whole reason why I even talk on these streams is because I needed, at a certain point in 2019, I think even 2018, I realized that if I just kept on my little hidey hole and I did my forum, and I suffered in silence, nobody would ever give a fuck, and nobody would ever know, like, the bullshit that I put up with to keep that site up. It's like, I have to find some way to tell people just how much shit I eat on a daily basis. So it's like, no, you should always, YouTube is fleeting. It's momentary. It should be a stepping stone to something more solid, because YouTube itself is, like, fickle and ran by a Polish woman. It's not your friend.
this is nothing I've made a secret of in the past, and it's been evident for a while. YouTube is, unfortunately, still the best place to put videos, but viewing the platform itself as my career is, well, look at the situation. Even if I wanted to make YouTube my career, it would be a bad business move. It always has been, and always will be. I said years ago, and by years ago I mean almost half a decade ago, that without something like Patreon...
See what I mean? He only uses, like, stock footage of, like, women. I think they're very specifically, he looks through the stock footage, and he picks out, or Justin does, and he picks out the women that he wants to be transbians with. And it makes sense when you think about it that way, what videos he picks.
I'd have packed this up already because it would have been completely unviable. Back then I was told I was being melodramatic for stating such things, but it's true. The copyright strikes are an absolute plague now, to the point where anyone relying on ad revenue is absolutely terrified to step out of line and attract the attention of corporate interests. To avoid both copyright and bad language that would put off advertisers, people are butchering their content, self-censoring. All the things the gamers usually rail and rally against is being done constantly by content creators to themselves to stop bots from claiming their ad revenue or demonetizing their content.
Because you gave them consent to. There used to be people who spoke out against this, but then you called them transphobes and had them banned. So now you're stuck, Jim. You banned everyone who would take your side on these issues, and you're all by your lonesome with multinational corporations serving up your ass ad rev. Deal with it.
Even self-styled free speech activists will mind their language when money's on the line, because YouTube is increasingly becoming like network television, something it's wanted for years. Content creators have to appease advertisers like they're on TV. Except none but a blessed handful are paid like it. The burnout and the mental health issues faced by content creators, many of them far younger than me getting burnt the out. I mean, this place is a hellhole. Now more.
Like, you can just take a break. If you don't, like, I understand that, like, there's financial repercussions for taking a break from YouTube or whatever, but, I mean, if you're that burned out, just take a break. I've done it before. I try to stream consistently every Friday, but I take breaks when it's like, I don't feel like it. You know, why, this is something I'll never understand. I realize that there are some things in life you have to do. You have to come to terms with, like, paying taxes and dealing with the federal government and dealing with all this shit that you don't want to deal with, and you just gotta deal with it. And that's growing up. But when it comes to your job, like, most people have a choice. Most people are not slaves. If you don't like something, you know, do something else. Your life is 700,000 hours long. That's it. 700,000. That is your entire life. That is 80 years. So why the would you spend 40 of that every week doing something you don't want to do? Like, I don't know. Just for the love of, if you hate it that much, do something else.
Than ever, however, the reliance on income and work outside of YouTube.com is important to me, not just from a financial standpoint, but from a personal fulfillment one. I've never had a single positive experience working on YouTube as a platform, not one. Every email I've received from YouTube, I've dreaded, because I don't expect good things. They're never good things. I expect to be told a new video is blocked, or has been taken down, or that I'm under threat, or that YouTube has made another dramatic change that impacts the lives of creators but nobody was warned about. I've never received a good email from YouTube before. Nothing with positive news, not unless it's telling me a video's gone back up, but even then it's only because I got one telling me it had been taken down. Even the mechanical process of uploading a video is annoying, broken, and annoying, at least on Twitter.
You know, I get nice emails from YouTube. They're like, hey, we're interested in the opinions of 0.5% Ashkenazi Jewish people. Would you like to participate in this survey? And I would say, sure, I'd love to participate in this survey. And then they email me back a week later and say, sorry, we don't actually want to proceed with talking to you.
Twitch, a platform riddled with its own problems, I can claim I've had fun. At least on Patreon, a platform riddled with its own problems, I can say I made money. On YouTube, I've had nothing but stress, fights, expensive lawsuits, harassment both from communities and corporations, and now I'm watching subscribers drop on a platform that's been miserable for me specifically because I became happy in my personal life. That is just, well, it's perfect. Really? Very much like getting to almost 1 million subs and then rapidly declining. It's just a very Jim Sterling way to go. It's perfect.
Hello everyone, Laura K. Buzz here, Laura Kate Dale, and I am just sending this message to congratulate my good friend, James Stephanie Sterling, on finally dropping below 900,000 subscribers on YouTube. You're on your way to the top by going down, and I am here to congratulate you for that. Very few could have done what you did, and I am incredibly proud of my friend.
That this is Laura Kate Dale. This is the person that Jim Sterling does their podcast with, and this is the very famous Twitter author who posted a picture of them in a hospital gurney, looking really up on drugs, saying, "I have a vagina." So if you're wondering who this person is, that's them.
Been waiting for, so fair warning.
Oh, is this it? Oh, wait, no, it's not.
Quite a bit of transphobia now. So let's come down to brass tacks.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. It was so quiet. I was probably playing Apex Legends when I heard this. So this is the moment you've all been waiting for. This is going to be talking about transphobia.
Been waiting for, so fair warning.
I've been waiting for.
About quite a bit of transphobia now. So let's come down to brass tacks. There are many reasons to not like my content. I admit that. You can grow tired of the format or get sick of hearing about the subjects. Some people take breaks from my work because of mental health reasons, and I totally get that. This show can be depressing. But the fact of the matter is this. I did indeed lose 2,000 subs at once the exact day I wore a wig and lipstick to work and did.
Okay, what is more depressing? That Jim Sterling makes content that his viewers tell him, his avid, most beloved, and most trusted viewers tell him are psychologically damaging to them, and he doesn't care and keeps making them. Or B, being so frail and pathetic that talking about transphobia can burn you out and cause you to crash into slumber, Christian style. Vote A or B now, chat. I'll let the video play, but I'll keep an eye.
Did every single video post since. Only recently has the exodus slowed down, first simmering to about 1,000 losses per video, and in the past couple of weeks slowing further to around 1,000 lost for the whole week. God knows what this one's gonna do to the numbers. I personally expected to take a bigger hit up front and be done with the bleed out before now, but I failed to take into account that aforementioned issue of YouTube never showing my videos to people. I mean, I still have subscribers, viewers, saying, oh, the wig's new? What's up with that then? And it's not their fault. Some of them have even asked.
I think chat decided that B was more pathetic, being the type of person to crash into slumber over Jim Sterling videos. We also we very thoroughly debunked the whole, oh, my wig caused me to lose subscribers, because no, that you were going downhill before then, like measurably so.
Like, are you still uploading? Yeah. For some reason. As far as I'm concerned, the regular drip loss of 2,000 people shows how hard it's been for my subs to even see my videos, as clearly each week another couple thousand of them see my new look and off. Seeing where we are now and where we were, it would appear tens of thousands of people fled the channel because I came out as a trans feminine NB, and that's, well, that is fine on one level. Plenty have told me not to worry about it, that it's no big loss if a bunch of transphobes off, but it's disappointing that so many people drew the line at my happiness. That nightmare creatures such as the cornflake homunculus or pog were okay, but my being trans isn't.
Because those were funny. Like, okay, like, this is funny too, but this is funny for the wrong reason. The cornflakes homunculus thing was funny. It was actually, I'll give him this. Him taping a bag of cornflakes over his face and making pained, agonized noises while wearing a trash bag. In case you don't know what the skit was, he dressed up like this with a bag of cornflakes over his head. He wore a trash bag, and he would thrash around with the box on his arm, making horrific noises. And that was genuinely his best skit, because it would come out of nowhere, and before it overstayed its welcome, it was over. That's comedy. It's all about timing, and it's like when half the AVGN video is dedicated to Bugs Bunny getting shit on, it's not funny. But when the cornflakes thing happens and it's 3 seconds long and it's like a punchline and it's funny. The wig thing has been going on for months, and it was funny the first time, and now it's just sad. And you take it off and end the skit, Jim.
That it was okay to wear wigs and costumes and makeup when I was portraying anything other than myself. And I need to push back against the sub losses here, not because it explicitly matters on its own, but because it puts paid to the ridiculous idea that people transition for the sake of their careers. Because, Jesus Christ, do you know what a ridiculously stupid career move that would be for me? To come out as trans on YouTube in front of hardcore gamers. The same people that don't even want an NPC off to the side in a game to be trans, let alone anyone front and center. And have you seen how hostile the world is to trans people? Anyone coming out because they think it'll help their career is a imbecile. I knew what was going to happen when I came out, especially me. I'm old and nowhere near as pretty as some people. There was no way I was ever going to be acceptably trans for the wider nerd culture to accept.
I mean, to be fair, Jim Sterling looks like the average British woman.
That's a very slim margin as well, and when I say accept, I never mean fully accept all the way. And I already knew that among all my controversial videos and hot takes, nothing ever drew ire to my channel like videos that even passingly mentioned trans issues. Look at the response to my criticisms of transphobia in Deadly Premonition 2, or the sheer hate that got piled onto me for criticizing a game literally called, I'm not gonna say it, Gladiator. People got pissed that I wouldn't say it. They were like, why won't you say it? Why do you censor it in the video title? Like, they really wanted me to say it. People want to say it so much. YouTube is notoriously hateful.
Is that a reference to the N-word? This is new territory for me, by the way. I cut out about 19 minutes in. Trans gladiator? Oh, it wasn't even the N-word. That's less funny.
Of trans people, and by coming out, I was putting my head in a fire, and anyone debating that is also a idiot or deliberately bloody ignorant. Since coming out, I've been the subject of all manner of ridiculous rumours, assumptions, and frankly grotesque and invasive discussions. I've also noticed the perception shift among some of my own fans. People who have told me they went off me not because of coming out, but because my content and persona completely changed afterwards. And I'm like, what? I was trans before I came out, and literally nothing about the show changed except some videos now have multiple topics per episode.
No, literally when Jim came out, or right before then, that's when he completely redid his studio. That's when he changed his logo. That's when he changed up the podium. And when he started doing the editing, which is just awful. All of that's new, and it all happened at once. So it's not even like there's an A/B testing to see what was the change after, before and after a specific thing, because it all happened at once. It could be any combination, and it was a combination of things. Like, the editing to me is the worst thing. I could probably still listen to this idiot and watch the videos, if not for how utterly seasick they made me.
But is anthology trans? Tranthology. I just came up with that one on the fly. and they want to unsubscribe. It is surreal to see myself talked about as if I've died, when I feel more alive than ever. To
Press
be
F
viewed
chat.
as an alien version of Jim Sterling, when I feel more like me than I ever did. Hell, I've even seen people say they miss things that I still do. All since coming out. And on that note, Boston's favourite son can be heard wherever bad podcasts can be found. But of course, those who have never met a trans person...
Oh, what the f*** was that? He has another podcast? Boston's favorite son? What the f***? I've never even heard of this. I don't even want to know. It's probably about wrestling.
What
Fuck
they
that.
face love to suggest it's really easy to come out and then let the
Okay, fine. Give me... I'll pull it up. I'll let this play and I'll pull it up.
so-called internet points roll in because it'll boost your career. Newsflash, you idiots. Trans people are in trouble. And anybody coming out visibly these days is asking to have their career opportunities limited and their experience of prejudice sharply increased. For doctors to treat them differently. To be looked at differently. To be talked about differently. I've experienced...
That's such bullshit. That people... That you lose opportunity. Okay, granted, I don't know. Like, I'm not trans. Thank God. I'll never have to experience what the process is after the transitioning. But, like... I can't imagine that you lose money. Like, you can make so much money by being a token. Look at people on Twitter who are like, their only thing is that they're trans and they're conservative, and that's all it takes for people to throw money at them. Well, whatever. Boston's favorite son. Jim and Conrad have a friend named Jonathan who was once famous for being on Road Rules and will be again. They'll make sure of it. A podcast about fame and fortune.
You're a little unhappy with how your levels look. What? Were you the designer on Croc and the Legend of... I just come on in just thinking, ooh.
What the fuck is this?
Come on. No.
No, that doesn't line up with how I remember things.
Oh yeah?
No.
How do you remember it?
I remember Road Rules Northern Trail.
Oh yeah?
And then
Is this a wrestling thing? What the fuck is Road Rule? I'll search this and then I'll move on. But, like, for real, what the fuck is this? A diverse group of 5 or 6 people in their late teens to mid-20s are chosen to travel together in an RV, completing missions in order to receive a handsome reward. Each season's trip takes place in a different region. An MTV reality show. That's look, I have no idea what this podcast is about, and I have zero interest in it. I have negative interest in it. I would rather listen to Jim Sterling bitch about and in transphobia for another 10 minutes.
All these things already quite a bit, and I've only been public a few months. After coming out, people get treated completely differently. Not just like they've had a change, but like they are a completely new person, a different identity altogether, even if they themselves haven't actually changed all that much except for becoming more happy and alive. The very idea that coming out in front of gamers on YouTube would benefit my career in games media in any way is absurd. It's beyond absurd. It's pure moon logic. In the UK, my country of origin, the so-called gender-critical movement has reached such a position of power that it is influencing government oppression of trans people. The invasive, gatekeeping, utterly inhumane treatment of trans people in the UK medical field is downright criminal, while gender-critical leaders openly call for violence against trans people, funded, of course, by evangelical right-wing hate groups. You may have heard the word TERF before, trans exclusionary radical feminist. Despite originally loving the term, most TERFs try and claim it's a slur now. It's not a true name for them, really, because they're so regressive and outright harmful to cis women as well as trans that the word feminist shouldn't be anywhere near them. But whatever.
Why? I know a lot of TERFs because of the forum. I cannot think of a single issue that a TERF has ever brought up that was like, that would be damaging to cis women. Ever. I mean, I guess some of them like subscribe to like homesteading philosophies, but I don't know. That's just bullshit. That's moon logic.
You call them, they are unhinged. Scarily so. They are obsessed with trans people. It's not just J.K. Rowling, and it's not just Graham Linehan, although those two turfy wankers. There are loads of people whose Twitter timelines are just full of arguments against trans people. They think about trans people more than trans people do. They report everyone's innocuous tweets to Twitter to try and get rid of them. Like they want all trans people just gone. And
he's complaining that TERFs and whatever will report like trans Twitter accounts that say like we should lock all women up in like barns and make them suck girl. That would be base. They report that and then they get banned and then they cry about it.
You know, folks like J.K. Rowling get the support and the pity of so many people in entertainment, while the TERFs work to increase their political power, of which they have a scary, terrifying amount. It's become something of a grim, bitter joke in trans communities that you have to research a British comedian to find out if they want you dead or not. But you do. You do.
John Cleese spent the weekend making jokes about trans people on Twitter.
Because the UK media establishment is so...
It gets to you. Trans comedians on transphobia and cancel culture.
Transphobic. And that's the country I was planning to flee to if things in America truly got too shit. But I've got trans friends in the UK who are actually trying to flee the country because it hates them so much. In fact, someone made news for getting asylum status in New Zealand from the UK because of its transphobia.
I swear to God, you British people, you saw what was happening and you thought we're going to be ultra transphobic now just so that you have to keep Jim Sterling in the United States. This is a British conspiracy. They will pick whatever philosophy, political position, geopolitical position to spite me personally. It is a conspiracy from the British to with me.
There's nowhere for me to run. They started out complaining about trans people using public bathrooms, but over the years have revealed what they really want and always have wanted: trans people. Plain and simple. The more to them, the better. So anyway, here's one of the biggest voices in the so-called gender-critical movement, basically proving that in a really shocking and disgusting way.
Is it me?
Had a bit of an idea about some of the things that you can do, and then, for once, I'm talking to you. I'm talking about you dads who maybe carry, I think that's what you say. I'm so down with the American lingo. Maybe you carry, maybe you don't. Maybe you consider yourself a protector of women. Maybe you're that sort of man. Maybe you have a daughter or a mother or a wife. Maybe you have a sister, maybe you just have some friends, maybe you just think women are human and you don't need any absolute connection with them to feel compelled to protect us. I think you should start using women's toilets, men.
That's what they think of us, by the way. That's how they see us. That's what they want. They want trans people because they think we're disgusting. And that's the world I walked into. Okay? In both the UK...
I think the joke is that if you're like an armed man, like you're a rugged armed man, you should be using women's restrooms so that if there's like a assault happening with like a trans person there, you can shoot them. And I think that's a joke, but whatever reason to be offended and cry, I guess.
See us, that's what they want. They want trans people because they think we're disgusting. And that's the world I walked into.
Based.
Okay? In both the UK and US, laws and bills are being put in place to legislatively end transness. From making the healthcare treatment of trans youth a felony, to forcing kids to have their genitals inspected before they can play sports. I shit you not.
Okay, people brought this up. I would like to explain to you what the inspection day is. Inspection day is when there is already a reason to believe that a kid is in fact an imposter and they are acting sus. The emergency meeting is called, and then the coach will say, I want this kid's inspected pronto, and they'll send the kid off to the doctor, and then the doctor will write a note about the physical and say, yes, it in fact has a and it will be a general practitioner, and it is not the coach. Inspection day is a medical thing. It is not a coach and the boy thing.
The invasion of trans bodies and the legislative genocide attempts are so frequent as to be completely exhausting. Unless you're following it, you cannot appreciate just how endless and daily the attacks on trans people are. Systemic ones. And it's not just TERFs, it's the governments and communities these TERFs have managed to infiltrate and influence. There is shit going on.
Let me read that. Remember, this is all new to me. Legislation affecting LGBT rights across the country. No, it's the ACLU bitching about
An influence. There is shit.
You know, I used to donate to the ACLU when I was like a teenager. I set aside, when I first got my first job, I decided I was going to donate to charity when I started making money. So with my Whataburger checks, I donated like $100 a year to both the ACLU and Wikipedia. And boy, oh boy, how times and people change.
Going on right now in this country and in the UK, and of course many others, that is genocidal towards me and mine. That's not hyperbole. They want us gone from culture, and then they just want us gone. And that's what all these bills, all these laws, all these debates, that's what they're here for. It's to normalize our eradication. And far, far, far too many people have proven receptive to that. Bathroom bills, attacks on trans characters in media, celebrities circling the wagon around J.K. Rowling, the BBC putting out programs about the so-called trans issue while refusing to speak to actual trans people. Our lives are up for debate and we don't get a in the matter. We're just called an issue. Nothing I can...
You know, it is weird how, like, regressive British people are, specifically about trans issues. And it makes me wonder if it's like the British nonce hatred is like so built in. They're like so... God, there was that guy like in the late 1990s, Jimmy Savile. Like, if that national trauma has like built-in like nonce detectors in every British person, and like they see trans people like, oh, that's sus. That reminds me of Jimmy Savile, mate. We can't have that. We gotta get rid of that. We gotta dump them in America and in the colonies. We gotta dump them in the colonies.
Say in a short video, we'll adequately tell you how scary life is for a trans person, and I'm one of the safer ones. It's scary, folks. People want me and mine gone. Forgotten and hidden away at best, outright at worst. In my home country and my adopted country, lawmakers are trying to eradicate us, silence us, keep us out of public view. They want us gone. Those in control of pretty much everything want us buried. And you think I chose this life for a laugh? For my career? For points on the Twitters? No. Idiot. I chose it to live. And as a trans person, that means fighting for my life. Please like and subscribe.
When I came out as non-binary and I put on the wig was, I did not put on the dollar store wig. The wig chose me. And it's my duty to all the trans people, all the trans boys and girls of all ages living here and in the UK. I have to fight for them. I have to be my true original self, or else they'll literally die at the hands of the Mohammedans of the UK, the alt-right Christians there. Truly. Is this terminally online? I don't think Jim Sterling's ever left his house except to throw women to the ground in a wrestling ring. I think that's his entire life, is like reading Twitter headlines about shit. And his entire world perspective is based on that.
Hi everyone, Jonathan Holmes here with a special announcement. Jim Stephanie Sterling has a new crowning achievement. They have done it. They have finally gotten under 900,000 subscribers on YouTube. What does that mean? How is that good? You're probably asking yourself. Well, Jim Stephanie is smarter, stronger, and healthier than they've ever been before. The quality.
Is this man black, Asian, Hispanic, white, Native American? He's at least 56% white. I'll guess that. I have no idea who this is, by the way.
Of their work is at an all-time high, and yet their subscribers are going down. Why could that be? Well, it can only be for one reason. People who don't like good things, in fact, are shitheads, are leaving the subscriber count. They're taking off.
He's salty too.
Knuckle dragon, jackboot, ass crack.
Oh my! He's like trying to like be angry because Jim said like, "Can you give me like a stern talking to video to all the people who unsubbed? Kind of like get some piss and vinegar in there. Be angry." And this man is like 56% white, 15% Asian, 15% black. And then he is like, what's the remainder? 14%. He's 14% pure, unadulterated phytoestrogen from Soylent. And he just can't. He can't raise his voice in anger. He's unable to. He's got a mental handicap. He only knows how to appreciate trans women for their natural beauty.
Taking a walk. And you know what? Good riddance to him. That's me talking. Jim Stephanie probably wants to keep people happy and watching their videos, but I don't care. I can tell you, if you're leaving Jim Stephanie's channel because they are healthier, happier, and stronger, smarter than ever, then you're a piece of shit, and you can take a hike. Back to you.
I can't emphasize enough that I just asked for a congratulations video for laugh. Thank you, Jonathan from Road Rules. Don't you guys want to hear a podcast with this guy? Jesus,
Jim Stephanie.
Is he gonna cry? You gonna cry?
You know, I had some other.
He's gonna cry. Look at that. He's tearing up. Look at that. He's holding back tears.
You know, I had some other stuff to close out with, but I think I'll just say that I'd rather have happiness than a rank on a Social Blade website. Anything else to add from you, celebrity host Beanie Tuesday? Where could we see you next?
Hopefully somewhere better than this.
Classless. Classless. Thank God for me. Classless. I thought you were better than that. I thought you were better than that.
I thought my agent was better.
Comedy. Special thanks to Conrad Zimmerman of Fit Shark Marketing for booking the services of Beanie Tuesday. I'm guessing that's the wee little midge. And Tuesday would like to remind his fans he is not associated with the Jimquisition in any way, will not be adding to his show reel. Thank you. Okay. That is the video. I have thoroughly enjoyed watching this with you guys. Thank you for joining me on short notice to partake in the fruits of Jim Sterling's downfall and tragedy. For whatever reason, Jim hears this. I would tell him to, you know what, just quit. Like, if you're that unhappy with everything in your life, just quit. I would say stop trying to be like a woman, but I think we're past that point. So just dive into it. I mean, it's his money, like, right? How are you going to tell someone to quit? Like, how much money is he making? I'll pull this up. I didn't look at this before. Patreon, the Jimquisition. Here we go. Jim is making... Dun, 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 dun. Can it be any slower? 7,677 patrons, $14,617. You know what, Jim? I changed my advice. Milk these for everything they're worth, because they're worth very little, and it might as well be your money. And when you get that money, I don't know, buy Hasbro, buy the Hasbro division that owns Boglins, and just make your own model Boglins after yourself, and make Boglin silver coins, because these people are and they deserve to be built.
They said it couldn't be done. They said I couldn't lose another 100,000 subscribers as part of a sub-bleed that started on literally the same day I publicly came out as trans femme. Well, I mean, they did say I could lose more. In fact, a lot of them have been gleefully looking forward to it.
Hello, everybody. Oh, jeez. I hope everyone is doing better than James Stefani Sterling, because James Stefani Sterling is not doing particularly well at all. And this is where I jump in. I called it. I said after he published the Hogwarts Seethe video, he would be finally under 800 subscribers, and it happened. It happened, chat, and he was ready to go with not just a Seethe video about J.K. Rowling, but a Seethe video about being 800k subs under again. And I'm so ready to share my utter jubilation in regards to this momentous occasion with everybody in the Sneed chat today. All right, this is sort of a reaction video, I suppose. I am going to play. The NBC thing didn't work as I planned. It doesn't fit directly on top as I planned, but that's okay. I'm going to be watching, I think, the Hogwarts video first. They're each about 20 minutes long. Very reasonable video to watch and react to. And then I will pause it and I'll give my commentary, because there is a lot to say. He is so salty for so many different reasons, and it's sort of an undertaking to endeavor to sort of pull it apart and just kind of enjoy it for what it is. So let us begin. Let's start. I think we're going to start with the Hogwarts one, because that happened first, and I think the other one will be funnier. So we're going to save that for later on. I am happy. As far as a man missing a tooth can be happy, I am pretty happy. So I probably want to, I'm debating. Let's just do a quick show of hands in the chat. Press 1 if you want me to sit through every cringe-inducing second of his video, including the shit about wrestling and all the other garbage he shoves into his stream. And press 2 if you want me to skip to just the, oh geez, okay, everyone, there's not even a point to this. Oh my god, literally too many. Okay, fine. We will sit through the bullshit and we will enjoy. Let me actually fix this real quick. There we go, perfect. And let us take a listen.
It starts.
So right off the bat, if you're listening to this only and you don't see it, there is a bright green or purple pink type thing for his intro. And if you are familiar at all with Jim Sterling, you would know that it is usually like a heart. It almost looks kind of fashy. I don't know if there's like a better thing he's trying to rip off, but it looks kind of fashy. He's wearing like all black leathers and shit. And he's changed this to like steampunk purple, and it's really just the most hideous thing. I don't know what he's going for, but if you've not watched Jim Sterling in like 5 years, that would be the first thing that comes off immediately.
Nah, I don't care. It's stupid. Harry Potter is stupid, and it's about time someone said it was bad, because nobody in the history of ever has ever suggested that Harry Potter is bad.
Now, already, again, I'm assuming that some of you know who Jim Sterling is, but haven't watched his videos in years, because he was more obviously because he's losing subscribers. He was more popular years ago. His visage is a frightening, ghastly thing. He looks just like a British bulldog man. He looks like a Winston Churchill. He's got those hanging jowls. But he's dressed in like goth GF, like I don't know what you want to call it. It's sort of like it is like steampunk attire. It's like I didn't play the Borderlands, but there's a character like Mad Moxie or something in the Borderlands. Somebody compared him to like what he's trying to look like, and it's just a fat dude with bitch tits and like some sort of play pretend steampunk shit, and it's very bizarre, and a cheap wig. His wigs, I think, have varied in quality. I want to say that this is better than what he started with. This wig is a higher quality wig than what he started with. I mean, it really is. It is literally shocking. And there's funny comments about his appearance in this that I'll wait, because I've seen this one. Here's just to cover where I'm at. I have watched this video. I have watched 5 minutes of the other one, and that one is no, that's the wrong one. That's his other one. Nope. That one is like 21 minutes, I want to say. So I've not watched the majority of that, but we'll keep going.
No, but it is stupid though, right? We're supposed to believe that wizards in the wizarding world is so much superior to the muggles, right? We've got phones. They use owls. Chuds. Right, Hagar the Horrible, right, bicycled into my house and went, "Oh, you're a wizard, Stephanie." I'd probably be excited at first. I'd be all, "Oh, that's brilliant, Hagar the Horrible. How do we go? Am I going to go in a car?" "What? No! We don't ride cars in the wizarding world. We fly about on flippity-doos." "What's a flippity-doo?" "Well, first of all, you got to get yourself an 8-legged one." "We're not going to get on." "Right, I insist on bringing my 3DS, Hagar. Have you got wall chargers?" "What's wall chargers?" "Oh dear." "Okay then, so what do you do for entertainment?" "Oh, it's brilliant. We eat sweets that make you do elephant noises." "What? And what is the shit with the all flavour beans?" "Right, I could, right, get a McDonald's, or I could eat bonbons that taste of literal sick and mucus. And we're supposed to think that this is charming and quaint. Well, it's not. Oh, Hagrid, how do we get to school?" "Well, first of all, you gotta go to King's Cross Station. Even if you're already in the wizarding world, you gotta get out of it and then run it first into a wall." This is bollocks, right? If I were there, I'd sort it all the fuck out, right?
Now you all regret your choices, huh?
With the wands they've got at Gringotts, right? "Oh, what wand have you got, Stephanie? Is that a dragon heartstring cord?" "No, it's a gun. And it's only got one spell. Bang! That's your Voldemort problem taken care of. Bang, bang! That's the snake." It's long, innit?
See, you didn't know. I think... Okay, so it's sort of hard to explain. I have to, now that I've like thoroughly brain raped all of you with this guy's comedy stylings, I have to explain that at one point he was pretty funny, and it's a saying as far as comedy goes that comedy is brief. Comedy is about timing, and this run-on joke, this is like 2.5 minutes long of just him trying to point out flaws in Harry Potter as like surely kids would still want their 3DS even if they could play with their wands, not realizing that part of the charm is that there is no technology, because a lot of people feel oppressed by technology, a la Ted Kaczynski. And that doesn't need pointing out, but it is literally missing the point. And it's sort of like the most basic kind of observational humor you could possibly make about Harry Potter, going on for way too long. I love this. You can actually see in his videos, thanks to the wonderful feature by YouTube that shows you like where people skip in the timeline. You can see that nobody is like, oh my god, I love the Harry Potter part, I want to go back and see the Harry Potter part again. Everyone's skipping to like when he starts ranting about the video game. Even the people who want to watch this shit are just like this.
J.K. Rowling is a trans.
This is also important. Watch him play with his tits. Not a fetish. In this video, there's at least 3 tit-related references that he makes. This is one of them where he just openly touches himself. And then I'll just leave it to it, but it gets in the video too.
J.K. Rowling is a transphobe. This is a fact. It's a fact I've never seen disputed in good faith, only challenged by fellow transphobes who have a pre-baked line, since these people read from the same script.
Can we just... I hate, okay, this is also right. I hate the word transphobe. I'm not afraid of them. I'm afraid of what they do, and I don't like them. Is that transphobia? I'm not afraid of them, and I don't think J.K. Rowling might be afraid of them because they come to her house and like shit on her front porch and take pictures by her, security guards and shit. It's like, yeah, maybe women are afraid. But so I guess in her case, but she has like, the thing is also that a phobia is it's an illegitimate fear. Like I'm cleaning off my porch because I want to get into gardening. I'm very arachnophobic, so I don't like creepy crawlies. I'm just sort of like forcing myself to take, because they're not dangerous. So it's like overcoming a fear of spiders. But J.K. Rowling doesn't have an irrational fear of trans. It's like there's no such thing as being irrationally afraid of a offender.
What did she say exactly that's transphobic? Rowling couches her hatred in plausible deniability, but her daily obsessive takes on us, her constant comparisons of trans women to men, her verbatim repetition of gender-critical talking points makes her feelings clear. She follows, is best friends with, and outright claims to be one of the many prominent TERFs, trans-exclusive radical feminists, these days rebranded to gender criticals. Her slide into open fascism as a result has been horrifying.
Okay, if I pause and try to like debunk epic like Ben Shapiro style, I'll never get through these videos. I want to point out that this style of him just showing like old shitty cartoons and zooming in is something that's more recent. It's like in the last 2 years when he just he used to do his own editing, and his own editing style was better, but then he offloaded all of his editing to some random homosexual that he's friends with. And this guy's idea of editing is taking old cartoon stills and zooming in. And since they're usually like a really shitty quality like this, he started using Waifu 2X to like machine learning, like upscale these small stills from a 70s cartoon to something that's a high quality image. But he uses really shitty upscaling machine learning, so it looks really terrible. And you'll notice it, and I won't pause to point it out because I don't want to waste so much time, but you'll notice it that some of the images he uses are absolute shit. So the audio visual experience of the Jimquisition has gone down over years, and that's important because of the subscriber loss and what he tries to offshift it on. But I also like that he said in regards to J.K. Rowling that when pressed about what did she say that's transphobic, there's no defense. Like, she hasn't said anything like kill them all or something. But now she's a fascist transphobe because she's a little bit skeptical about certain elements of transgenderism. She is still like super liberal. She has said on record that she voluntarily keeps all of her tax stuff in the UK because she wants to pay taxes, because she used to take when she wrote Harry Potter, she was on government gives at the time. So now she pays hundreds of millions of dollars into the tax system because she believes so strongly in the UK's tax system. That's how crazy she is. The only person in the world that nutso, and he's still like, nah, she ain't doing enough.
She is a fan of Matt Walsh, a fascist so into fascism that he self-describes as one, and has made a career from accusing LGBTQ+ people of the very he himself seems to be a fan of. She's liked tweets from the abjectly abhorrent Libs of TikTok account, a notorious right-wing platform that outs queer people and is used to organise attacks against drag shows as well as threats against hospitals. She retweets unscientific drivel.
No mention of what happened to Libs of TikTok and how Taylor Lorenz personally showed up at her family's houses to harass them. That's justifiable in the name of Antifa.
By queerphobes like Baroness Nicholson. She stands with Maya Forstater, who, after losing her job at a progressive organisation over demeaning anti-trans comments, has dedicated her life to combating trans rights. She once sent accidental transphobic profanity to a 9-year-old girl after pasting a comment from an anti-trans website she was reading and copying at the time. She called criticism of this censorship and authoritarianism, seeming to defend her right to rope kids into her obsession.
Oh, now, so I was wondering, why is he, I didn't pick up on that the first time, why is he virtue signaling about, like, profanity to children? This guy doesn't have kids. He's never, ever in his life cared about kids, but now, oh, she's a groomer. Oh, come on.
And she is obsessive. Scroll through her Twitter and you'll find that she thinks about trans people all day, every day. She herself has fought against Scotland's gender recognition reforms, scaremongering and spreading outright lies about a law that would simply make being trans a tiny bit easier. She still has the nerve to act offended at accusations of phobia while literally campaigning against our basic rights and legal dignity. At first, she tried to keep up the mask of someone who supports trans people but just has concerns and wanted to protect women's spaces, a long-time gender-critical dog whistle. She claimed her liking of transphobic tweets was just her fingers slipping, honest, and now she's an ardent supporter of Helen Joyce.
While we're trying to get through to the decision makers, we have to try to limit the harm. And that means reducing or keeping down the number of people who transition. Every one of those people is basically, you know, a huge problem to a sane world. Like, if you've got people that, whether they're transitioned, whether they're happily transitioned, whether they're unhappily transitioned, whether they're detransitioned, if you've got people who've dissociated from their sex in some way, every one of those people is someone who needs special accommodation. Every one of them is a difficulty.
There's so much. Oh, wait.
Oh, dear.
I wonder, by the way, I'll put this out, the reaction that he uses for this.
That's
every one of them is a difficulty.
He uses the sound clip that says, oh dear, and he just likes it, but it says no eggs here, and he doesn't include the soundbite, but it's on that image. Is he using the no eggs meme? Is that intentional? I'm genuinely curious if that's like an intentional slight, like no eggs, or if that's just a coincidence. I really don't know. But I like, see, this is why you have to be optimistic about women. I know many people in the chat are chuds, super mega chuds that hate women and see women as a threat to their idealistic world. But there is proof. This is the proof that there is a thread of sanity there especially in regards to this. Like, the trans shit piques so many people to conservative thought that otherwise would not be piqued. And this video in particular gets hard into taking people who would be sympathetic to Jim and shaking them off the tree of, like, allyship.
Oh dear.
That's someone J.K. Rowling agrees with, platforms, is a friend of. Indeed, the people Rowling champions are monsters. Here's GC figurehead Posey Parker telling cis men to patrol women's bathrooms on the hunt for trans women.
Talking about you, Dad.
This is also incredibly based. This is a famous clip.
Who maybe carry, I think that's what you say. I'm so down with the American lingo. Maybe you carry, maybe you don't. Maybe you consider yourself a protector of women. Maybe you're that sort of man. Maybe you have a daughter or a mother or a wife. Maybe you have a sister. Maybe you just have some friends. Maybe you just think women are human and you don't need any absolute connection with them to feel compelled to protect us. I think you should start using women's toilets, men.
So
it's obviously a joke, like that's like a hyperbole, but that's such an incredibly funny and base statement. And he, of course, is like, oh, now they're literally trying to kill us. If men carrying weapons saw what we were doing in the bathroom, like hooking up cameras to the baby changing station, they would literally kill. It's a literal genocide. Oh no.
Much for keeping women's spaces for women. Of course, Rowling has tried to be smart. She doesn't record herself outright repeating the violent sentiment. No, she contents herself with laughing at us.
That's how I saw him.
I will never tell this to anyone, so hopefully not with a transgender person.
This is such a pleasure.
That's what eats him up more than anything. She didn't say anything, and that guy kind of sounds like he's with her a little bit, but she laughs, like has a genuine laugh, and that eats him. That's that shit when they think like they would be like people walking around will be offended looking at them or disgusted, but then you see those. They say they see those looks of pity. And they see people laughing, and that way more than like anger and hatred and disgust is what genuinely eats at them. Mommy J.K. Rowling, author of the wizard books, that obviously he tries to pretend he doesn't understand, but if he knows that the wands have like dragon heartstring, that's like such a subtle reference that he definitely at least has read the game or whatever. He knows of it. So. That's that shit. Mommy made fun of him. Mommy laughed at him, and now he's super angry.
Her slimy, cowardly behaviour goes back years. What's shown in this video so far is just from stuff I started collecting in the past year because I knew this subject was inevitable. While she's been careful enough not to use plainly direct hate speech, I don't think her deniability is close to plausible anymore. Look at the lies she tells, the fascists she supports. Look at how much she talks about us. This is not what someone who doesn't loathe us does. This is the activity of someone with a genuine, deep-seated problem. You don't have to believe me. You can believe the Harry Potter cast members who've condemned her.
This is also stupid. If you don't know, all the cast in all the Harry Potter movies have come out and condemned J.K. Rowling. So if you want to know how loyalist people are, she gave them like a life of luxury by extension through their books. If not for those Harry Potter books, all those little kids would just be another Hollywood prostitute. But now they're super mega famous, and then of course there's even the slightest hint that they might catch some shit for associating with J.K. Rowling, and they hard disavow this woman that basically gave them a life of luxury that nobody else will ever have, except one actor. There's one particular actor that has not explicitly not disavowed J.K. Rowling, and he's a snake. He's a little Slytherin snake. Draco Malfoy's actor, who is of course an evil fascist, pure-blooded Slytherin, Dark Brotherhood Slytherin, has refused to disavow J.K. Rowling.
Can believe the historians who've catalogued a clear timeline of her descent into frothing bigotry. Or, if you'd rather, believe the Republican politicians who are actually citing her words in their anti-LGBTQ+ legislative efforts. Believe the virulently right-wing male supremacy group Honey Badgers who call JKR their queen. Believe the photos of her at GC meetings. Believe the trans-exclusionary women's shelter she set up to replace the trans-inclusive women's shelter that her movement bullied and harassed out of operation. Or maybe just believe J.K. Rowling when she says it is dangerous to assert that any category of people deserves a blanket presumption of innocence. She meant trans people, of course, but if she's right, then hell, she gets no presumption either. She is a TERF, loud and proud, Merry Turfmas, as she would say, and has said.
Huh? That's what I mean. The power of just saying no. Like, no, I'm not going to bow down to your bullshit. Like, he's so angry that everything she says is this great crime to him, this great offense that he can't tolerate. It's so childish. It's amazing.
Dear.
I've been out as a trans femme now for over 2 years.
This is the best. He always picks these, by the way, he picks these pictures that show off and it's just like, why do people like him and Keffels think that, because like, they're man boobs, they point outwards. He has to use a corset to push them together and up to make them look like natural cleavage. I don't know what they think, why they think that this is something that men are going to be like, oh my God. But that's the thing. It's not about what people think. It's about what he thinks. He looks in the mirror and he sees those big greasy flappers and he thinks, oh my God, I'm like a real woman. And it's just so erotic to him.
With my coming out, much about the world around me has changed, be it through my new perspective or the difference in treatment I receive. There's a lot of good. I'm complimented by sweet old ladies who like my boots. I'm hit on by lesbians in Leeds. People in general say nice things about me, and I feel more comfortable saying them back. Mostly, I'm more confident.
This is great. This is okay. Pay attention. This is hilarious.
I like who I am and how I look, things that weren't true before. But while good things happened, and to be honest, 90% of people really don't care if I'm trans or not, there are negatives. It's no secret what it did to my career. The way in which I'm criticised online changed. Suddenly I was diagnosed by commenters as mentally ill. My age comes up a lot now, and my writing is tone policed, accused of being rude and screeching where it wasn't before.
That's also weird. Like that comment, like, oh no, now I'm being criticized like a woman, because you know women are criticized for being older, like no eggs, like he just used in this video, and also being screeching. So now he's, oh my god, he's taken on all the negative criticism that real women get, just like real women. He's screeching.
But most of all, the world has become scarier. Scarier because of the right-wingers calling us all groomers and engaging in violence against us. Scarier because of the GOP and Tories scapegoating us and legislating our rights away with increased ferocity. Scarier because of media outlets like the BBC engaging in transphobia as a matter of policy. Scarier because of the people JKR has emboldened with her support. The gender criticals who preach eugenics and partake in phrenology to call for our eradication. Scarier because culturally and legally and increasingly physically, we've been staring down the barrel of genocide for a long, long time. If you're not trans,
I love those, like the ACLU. I love these maps of all the states that have passed anti-trans legislation. Thank you so much, ACLU. I love these guides.
Genocide for a long, long time. If you're not trans, if you're not so aware of how there's a new attack on us and our rights multiple times a day, every day, you won't quite know how bad it is. It's horrific. It's exhausting. We're less than 2% of the population, but we're called an epidemic. We're demonized in the press with extremely disproportionate coverage, and wealthy, powerful people like JKR can't stop thinking about it. Look, some people might be delighted to hear this from me, but I'm going to admit it plainly. I'm afraid. I'm really, really afraid. And every day, for months, I've seen a video game that directly benefits one of the largest sources of that fear promoted on the PlayStation Store and Xbox Live, hyped up by the gaming press and championed by a community with a long-running vein of transphobia running through it that goes back to the hateful protests against a bit-part trans NPC in Dragon Age Inquisition. Every day, a constant reminder that we as trans people have so few friends, so few allies. Every day, a reminder that the game industry and community are contemptuous. You know, as much as y'all gamers TM have tried, you've not owned me by posting the glowing review scores for Hogwarts Legacy or boasting about its sales success. That just proves what I knew, that people don't give a f***. That's not new information. It's not a surprise. It's half of the course. That's all. Those of you actively trying to harass...
Okay, let me just stop there. So first thing, what this pain that he feels, realizing that nobody actually gives a that is the cognitive dissonance and seeing disproportionate representation in all forms of globo homo mass media in every way, shape, and form, from the legislator to big companies to advertising to stock photos. Everything that you are saturated with has trans shit in it, pro-trans shit. The companies throw up the trans flag and all that shit, obsessed, like constantly. You can't escape it. And then when you are confronted with giving people the dilemma of supporting trans, like the 2-button thing, support trans people or play a fun wizard game, almost everybody smashes the right button. And it's like, so why? Wait a second. I was told that this was like the new modern thing that everyone loved and everyone supported, and there's all this backing momentum. It's like, no, it's all bullshit. It's astroturf. It's not real. Nobody gives a shit about you. And he doesn't believe it until it comes into something like this, where you realize, oh my God, it is all bullshit. It is all top-down propaganda that nobody actually gives about. And it makes him angry because it's a painful realization when you've been coddled like this.
Ask me over it aren't the actual offensive ones. No, the offense comes purely from the self-described allies who want to have it both ways, who want to play their wizard game and get really upset when criticized over it.
This whole, I'm going to let this play out, but it's great that he is saying people who want to support trans people, you either do everything I say and not a single thing against what I say. It's not enough to support me in every way, shape, and form. You must also do exactly what I command of you. That is an amazing narrative, and I wish him the best and pressing forward with that forever and ever. Amen.
Or the media outlets who justify their uncritical reviews by having the nerve to compare our protests against them to Gamergate. Transphobes, you need to up your game, because none of you will ever be as insulting as a self-styled cis ally who wants trans people's permission to not take a stand. Oh, and I love how the same Gamers TM who spent nearly 10 years calling game reviewers corrupt suddenly started trusting and touting them when a game they rallied around got 8s and 9s. Some of them even tried to twist Gamergate's ethics in game journalism pretext to defend outlets like IGN from criticism. IGN! Suddenly, the Ethics Brigade are standing for IGN, the Too Much Water website, the site whose credibility they've done nothing but meme. Way to prove that you've only ever wanted to be agreed with. You'll suddenly stop believing reviewers were paid off and attacked me when I posted what I'd heard from a Warner Brothers contact, that WB stacked the deck and only gave review code to outlets it trusted to give positive reviews. Like, that wasn't even a shocking revelation. It's a known fact this happens, an expected practice. I've covered the deck stacking elimination of wild card reviewers for years, but now I'm lying. Now game reviews are above board. Oh, by the way, I've never believed game reviewers are paid off. That's not what happened with Hogwarts. Reviews aren't high stakes enough that publishers are gonna bribe over it. No, the sad thing is that there doesn't have to be bribery. Search engine optimization is all outlets need to keep covering games as enthusiastically as possible. Hell, they wouldn't even refuse to cover Ubisoft games after all the abuse. They can't be trusted to do the right thing. While I don't think game critics outright lie, I think they have an incentive to not rock the boat, to do conspicuous things like, say, litter a Hogwarts Legacy review with so many negative statements it sounds like shit, and then give it a 9 out of 10 regardless. From a general fear of controversy to wanting to avoid gamer boy harassment and, of course, maintaining a good enough relationship with publishers to keep having access, they've plenty of reason to go soft on big name games. I left The Escapist in 2014 because
pause there, because I'm not interrupting the gameplay criticism, because this is actually what Jim does best. Like his opinions in regards to game media and how gameplay rolls, like that's fine. That's what he does. However, I am pausing it here in particular. I mean, he obviously sounds very angry, and I'm sure that no matter how good the game was, if he were to try and criticize the merits of the game, he would just sound bitter and resentful the entire way through. He actually literally does not talk about anything related to the game at all, even facial stuff. Like it uses Denuvo, and I know many hardcore gamers hate Denuvo and refuse to buy anything that has Denuvo in it. So that's something that he could have mentioned without even playing the game in regards to why, legitimate reasons. But he literally does not even bother to criticize the game in any meritorious way whatsoever. At this point, he actually starts to suck his own dick a little bit and talk about what a great game reviewer he is. It's very bizarre, and he does that in the other video as well.
Company Defy Media refused to publish my review of Assassin's Creed Unity and jeopardized.
And for those asking, Denuvo is an anti-piracy thing. It takes about a week to crack, and most people would prefer to just buy the game than wait a week, unless they just can't afford it. So Denuvo its job is to protect the game, but it's technically like spyware or something. There's a lot of I won't go into it. It's just anti-piracy. A lot of people don't like it.
Their relationship with Ubisoft. I'm famously blacklisted by Konami for being such a harsh critic. The PR company 47 told me EA wouldn't send me review copies because I'm a wild card. The only access I get in gaming comes from sources acting alone that need anonymity because they're not allowed to talk to me. My standing in the industry, that is to say, no standing, is the result of doing everything my former peers are incentivized not to do. I burned every bridge I had for not wanting to play with deeply corrupt organizations, and I'm proud of it. I also acknowledge that I can afford to not play in that sludgy water. Most reviewers can't. I scarcely blame them for the system they're stuck in. I've been there, I know how it is, and I don't think reviewers are unethical so much as forced to compromise with unethical companies while in the thrall to the all-important SEO. They're not paid off, but as we've seen with Hogwarts Legacy and with how quickly they wanted to move on from mentioning Ubisoft and Activision.
It's weird how trepidatious he is about actually denouncing like scummy journalism. If you are afraid of pissing off your advertisers in any way, shape, and form, and that causes you to alter your statements to appease those people, like that is effectively being paid off. You're changing what you say for financial gain, even if it's indirectly. That just makes you even, that's like cuckolding. You're not even being paid to lie. You're just so like, enthralled to the establishment structure that you refuse to cross it, even because it might financially harm you in an indirect way. Like that's like if he has friends in the industry still that he likes to maintain connections with, so we can't just call them retards and liars and pussies. He has to go roundabout and say, oh, I know that you can't do it because of your job, mate.
Vision's abuse in their game coverage, not many of them have any damn principles. Multiple times in the past few years, press outlets had opportunities to make a stand. They did not. So yeah, to the born-again Potter fans who spammed me with screenshots of IGN's big ol' 9, I'm not sure what y'all proved other than your own hypocritical opportunism. You'll be back to calling game reviewers SJW soon enough, won't you? I know I'm not changing any minds here. The bigots and Potter fans and people who just want to enjoy a video game made their decision. The allies who want to separate
it's more of the good stuff
from artists or hate JKR but just always wanted to Skyrim or Hogwarts made their decision. And regardless of intent, all of you look exactly the same to J.K. Rowling. See, while people have tried to justify Hogwarts Legacy by saying JKR had no direct involvement, that doesn't change the fact she makes direct money from sales. More important,
I actually looked this up to see if she does actually get like a I forget what you call it, but money from each sale. She does get royalties. She does get royalties from each sale. So I was going to try and debunk that. I can't. It's true. She does get royalties for every sale.
It doesn't change the truly insidious aspect of Harry Potter's continued success. JKR takes it as explicit endorsement of her views. She thinks the success of Harry Potter means people agree with her, and she's said so before. There is no difference in hers or any other TERF's mind between the people who bought Hogwarts because they wanted a fun wizard game and the people spite buying it to demonstrate the powerlessness trans people already feel. Intent doesn't matter. You're all just supporters to her. You are all permission. This is why you aren't an ally if you buy Hogwarts Legacy. No, buying the game doesn't make you a transphobe, and I'm tired of hearing.
I love how British and LGBTQIA plus that stock model looks. It's just a perfect picture for him to use. By the way, I hope you have enjoyed this reel of stock footage montage set to a screeching British person.
Hearing the self-martyring whinging about that. I'm not saying you're transphobic for buying Hogwarts Legacy. I'm saying you're not an ally. You handed that card in because you couldn't do the barest minimum. You couldn't make the simplest stand. It's not that hard to not buy a AAA video game. You chose a product over people, and in doing so you helped J.K. Rowling say things like this when asked how it feels to have alienated so many queer fans.
I read my most recent royalty checks and find the pain goes away pretty quickly.
That's what you do. You empower a fascist-supporting transphobe. Some of you celebrate that you've done it. Some of you wring your hands in
How is she fascist? I don't understand. Do you not even know what fascism is? Is she like an ultra-nationalist? Is she like a Victorian-era monarchist who's like, we gotta take back the Indian Empire. It was rightful British clay. Like, what the is she doing that's fascist? I really hate the mutilation of that word.
Use it. The result's the same. So enjoy. Not a single one of you are under any obligation to refuse this game. I'm not demanding it of you, and I'm not going to say you're an inherently bad person for it. But I do not trust you. I can't count on you. Can't think you have our backs. I can't feel safe with you.
This is a trans woman, by the way. This beautiful trans woman represents how James Stefani Sterling really feels about those no good so-called allies.
And sorry, but you don't get to feel hurt by that. You get to enjoy your media product. I get to remember every digital storefront that took a Hogwarts sponsorship, every games journalist that promoted it, every platform and company that embraced it. And I get to remember that when Pride Month rolls around and the performative allyship begins, your rainbow logos won't count for shit.
You think that they already counted for shit? You think that these companies gave a about you ever? Why is there white and blue in the flag now? What the does that represent? I don't even want to know. I don't want to hear about it. I'm just saying this shit. It has never represented anything. I'm glad you just now figured that out. Welcome aboard.
It hardly needs to be said, but any of you who claimed you bought it to support the developers can especially get in the bin. Oh, they worked hard and should be supported. That's probably the dumbest attempt to lionize consumerism I've ever seen. I've seen this excuse so much, and I'm like, how dare you? How dare you lie to me so brazenly? You don't buy games just to support developers, you buy them because you want to play them. Tell me, do you buy literally every single game that's ever made and released? If you're motivated purely by dev support, that's what you do, right? Every game is developed by game developers, so why aren't you buying every game? Every single one? Get the f*** out of here with that blatant bullshit. Of course it's bollocks from a results standpoint too. The devs got paid already. They get paid for their work up front. Unlike JKR, they don't get royalties.
This is like... This is, I'll save it actually, but it's an lie. Like, nobody's paying to support the developers. That's obvious. That's like a cop-out statement. I don't even think it needs debunking. It's like that's what people are saying to you when they want to be nice, so they don't actually give a f about your feelings.
Checks. They're not the ones.
Or rather, they give a f about your feelings, but not your gay boycott.
Supported by your purchase. She is. Warner Brothers is. Those are the beneficiaries. As we've discussed on this show before, game studios mostly live or die regardless of the success of one game, and thanks to the way public companies work, they're sometimes hurt by it, as layoffs often follow an influx of revenue to maintain the illusion of financial growth. Corporations don't operate based on customer support. If they did, we'd get more single-player games and fewer ones based around financially exploiting a minority of whale players. You're not supporting the devs that tossed in a token trans character called Sir Orion explicitly.
I covered this on my Hogwarts Legacy playthrough, the 3 videos I did. There is one trans character in the game that runs like a inn, and they give quests, and they have a real trans person from the UK to do the voiceover, who is famous in the as I found out, is famous in the UK as being like, you know, the LGBT person. They were a man in the 80s and 90s, and they became trans. But then they gave the barkeeper the name Sorona, and Jim and his friend, the I Have a Vagina, Laura Kate Dale person, they're convinced that this is like a subtle jab, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's not. Is it not like, I don't know. It could be some, maybe J.K. Rowling personally marched into Warner Brothers Studios and said, I heard you're putting a trans person in the game. I want that shit ripped out. And like, no, we really can't. We really can't. We definitely need this in there to, you know, to deal with the criticism. And she said, okay, fine. But you're going to call him Sir Rona. That is my official canonical Harry Potter Wizarding World. I own this shit. That's the name of that character. You will, my will be done, Sir Rona. And so it was. But I don't really think that's the case. I don't think that maybe J.K. Rowling is now aware that there's a Sir Rona, but I'm pretty sure she didn't have the creative control to dictate that name.
To try and steer us all away from the subject of J.K. Rowling. Support wasn't even your intent. That's a retroactive justification for something you were always going to do. And honestly, any of you who've come at me in the past few months with that excuse or any other excuse that attempts to paint your purchase of a video game in a noble light, you're not noble. You're not a hero. Play the game if you must, but don't you dare tell me you did it for any reason other than self-service. Don't you ever look to me for validation, expect me to assuage your guilt, toss hypothetical scenarios at me that you think allow you to have it both ways. Just play your wizard game. How you feel about that is not my problem. You clearly decided how we feel isn't yours. Cis feelings aren't our responsibility.
The deflection. I'm not hurt. You're the one who's hurt because you don't have my approval. Like, nobody wants your stamp of approval. If I got a stamp of approval for doing this stream from James Stefani Sterling, I might just delete it out of shame. But there's like this entitlement. Like, you really, really need the trans stamp to play your wizard game. And if you're going to cry because I don't approve of what you're doing, well, so be it. That's your own fault. Like, off. there's no way that anyone who's like sympathetic to trans people watching this is going to be like, wow, you know what? I feel really bad for playing the wizard game now. It's going to be like you.
It's so telling that the only real coverage of alleged harassment in games media this week has been about cis streamers getting upset at some mild pushback. It's a really old play. Whenever trans people advocate for themselves, we're painted as unreasonable bullies. Unsurprisingly, I've been asked to answer for the alleged harassment because minorities are always expected to take...
By the way, a fun thing that I've noticed, like this, if there's ever a negative emotion that represents the people that he doesn't like, the stock photo he chooses is a white man every single time, without fail. The greedy people who, you know, like the stock photos for the rich businessmen, always white men. But then if it represents him, it's like a young woman of various ethnicities. It's really bizarre. Like, it's like, do you like subconsciously do this, or do you recognize and seek this out intentionally, and you just know that you're doing this? Like, it's gross.
Take responsibility for each other. You know what? I'll answer it when I can go a day online without someone saying something truly vile about me, when I can stream without harassment myself, when I can post a selfie without being called a man or getting...
Look at this. This is literally James Stefani Sterling streaming. That's the stock photo that he chose to represent himself. That's him right there. It looks just like him.
Harassment myself, when I can post a selfie without being called a man or getting some other derogatory comment, when what trans people go through gets as much attention in the press, and when I feel people give as much of a shit about all of us as one cis person. If all that happens, I'll prostrate myself before you on behalf of all transes everywhere. Until then, this'll do.
Checked out the big one that they're hailing as like the innocent streamer who got harassed.
This is a poor mentally ill woman. She's on TikTok. It's really sad. Press F for this woman's father.
The live stream. And what I have learned is that y'all genuinely think that accountability and basic criticism is the same thing as harassment and discrimination. Here we have somebody saying OMG transphobia because obviously they think that it's a big joke. And then, well, that's kind of disappointing. Then we have yikes. Then we have, yeah, I don't care how much you donate to Trevor Project. I'm done. Unfollowed so fast. Sorry, can't support.
The only reason he included her is that she's gothic, and that's the type of woman he's into. 100%. He would not have given a rat's ass about this. I think she's cis. She looks cis. Would not have given a rat's ass about this random woman unless she was like somebody he wanted to. And this is like him trying, look, Al, I'm giving you clout. I'm putting you in my video. I guarantee you that he's personally spoken to this person, and now they talk. It's pretty sickening, and all she's doing is talking about how the alleged, like, the streamers that streamed the Harry Potter shit were harassed by the people boycotting the game, and there were articles about it because, you know, whenever shit like that happens, it gets reported on because that's good clickbait. And now this person's going through and debunking all the harassment because the screenshots they posted on the articles weren't really that bad. And one of the things that she complains about is that J.K. Rowling is a good person. Someone said in Twitch chat. That's literally the comment, word for word, no exaggeration. J.K. Rowling is a good person. And she said, but they didn't censor that now, did they? Like, what the is that? Like, do we have to censor people saying somebody is a good person? Is that really a thing? Like, if I say, you know, any random politician is a good person, is that hate speech? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Boycotts don't work. I said that about, I don't know, 10 years ago, and boy, people love blinging that one at me lately. I think there's still some truth to that, though looking back, it really is just what people are using it for. Permission to not take a stand. Kinda like how people have appropriated no ethical consumption under capitalism. Regardless, I know that in this case a boycott would never have worked. It's Harry Potter, and people don't care enough about trans people to pay JKR's crusade much attention. A boycott is not what I wanted nor expected. What most of us wanted was to simply point out why supporting a Hogwarts legacy is harmful, to at least get good people to think about the implications, to be heard on this, and to find out who our allies really were. We certainly found out about that last one. We don't have many, and we're sadly not shocked. For me, it's not about stopping you buying Hogwarts, but to get you to accept the accountability of it. I know.
For me, shows Cartoon Woman. For literally me, like, this is me, James Stefani Sterling. This is what I care about. It's so gross.
I know many of you want to consume guilt-free, but I'm not the girl who's going to condone that. It's really quite simple. If you buy it, you're not a trans ally. Yes, it's that stark an either-or choice, and this is coming from someone who rejects the binary whenever possible.
Cringe.
You might not be against us, but you're either with us or you aren't.
That's a Bush quote. You're either with America or you're with the terrorists. Like, since when has that logic ever appealed to anyone ever? That is the most when the moment you start calling people Nazis, they start thinking like, okay, well, if I'm already a Nazi, well, who gives a what I say then? I'm already as bad as you can possibly get. I'll just say whatever the f I want. If you're already not an ally because you played Harry Potter, then okay, fine. I'll stop supporting you if you want. That's easy. That's easy to do. Watch me.
Have fun Skyrimming a Hogwarts. And Merry Turfmas.
Nagini, help! They've got a Glock!
Anyway, stochastic terrorism. Fee suggested I just briefly let you know what stochastic terrorism is. It's basically what we're seeing a lot of against not just trans people but LGBTQ plus people on the wider spectrum. That knobhead Tucker Carlson does it all the time. It's causing indirect harm through rhetoric, through the normalization of bigotry and hateful ideas.
It's just bullshit. That infuriates me. They know that they are not actually the subject of violence at all. There is no violence happening. People are simply saying, no, you can't do that. You can't go into the women's restroom. So they have to recontextualize this as a sort of indirect violence. That to say anything that is critical of them and their chosen lifestyle in public is inherently violent because it endorses violence. That is the most that's awful. And that's more commonplace. People need to really be on the lookout for how people are trying to turn words into violence, because that shit is poison. That is the paved road to censorship for sure.
This is what Carlson, a lot of these right-wingers that I've mentioned on this episode, including Rowling, do. They incite hatred of a minority, of a marginalised group, in the hopes that some harm comes to them. It's no surprise that violence against trans people is on the rise, and that it's rising in conjunction with people like Carlson going on TV and engaging in groomer libel, telling everyone that we're out to get their children.
You know what's really weird? It's just, I don't know why I was reminded of this. Something about statistics kind of jogged the nog a bit. I heard that in the UK, the number of offenses committed against children has gone up by 10 times, not 10%. It's 10 times what it was a couple years ago. Why? It just blows my mind. What's going on in the UK, guys, where all these women are abusing children? I don't know, guys. It's really weird. It's just something about it. There's something about that line of thinking really jogged the nog, chat.
Anyway, that's stochastic terrorism, a very insidious method of causing harm because, as we've seen Rowling do now for years, it allows you to plausibly deny your involvement. Well, had nothing to do with me. Of course, with JKR, there's a lot more we could talk about. We could talk about the many criticisms people have had of the anti-Semitic portrayal of goblins in her work. We could talk about how she constantly equates her idea of physical attractiveness to goodness. Certainly when it comes to using fatness as a visual indicator of evil. For this episode, I stuck with what I personally...
I also... Did I cover the anti-Semitism thing on Maddie, or did I cover that on the I did cover on Maddie. Just in case you're watching this and you've never seen this before, seen my streams before, the argument that is that the goblins that run Gringotts are Jewish bankers. So people see that, they think, oh my god, that's literally a Jew, and then they see a short, greedy, evil monster. Fantasy creature with a huge nose and huge ears and pointed teeth, and says that's literally Jews. And then they point to a in the Gringotts Bank. It was filmed in the Australia House in London, and the Australia House features stars on the floor panel, because if you don't know, there's stars in Australian symbolism. It's on the flag and stuff, and it represents the Southern Cross and naval navigation by stars, and that's it. It's a 6-pointed star, but it's not the Star of David. but they still try to use that star and say this is supposed to be a Jewish, dog whistle. And it's complete bullshit. Unless J.K. Rowling came out and told Chris Columbus to specifically put the Gringotts Bank in the Australia House because there's a 6-pointed star on the floor, and she really desperately wanted there to be that dog whistle. Or maybe Chris Columbus is also an anti-Semite because he's the one that came up with the movie depiction of the goblins. But either way, I really don't. Unless J.K. Rowling, personally told him how to make the goblins look and where to film that, it's on Chris Columbus if that is an anti-Semitic thing. But it's preposterous.
Feel is my field of experience, what I feel I can speak to most powerfully. But J.K. Rowling is a shit. That's the bottom line. She's a shit. So that is the sad look at Hogwarts Legacy. I have been putting this one off. I've not wanted to do it. Although, if I'm honest, I'm actually quite proud of the script we put together. I'm quite proud of the video that's been put together. I am pleased that I got that off my ample chest, which not J.K. Rowling or Mayo Forstater or Julie Pintle are going to take away from me. It's my tits. I earned them. You can't have them. Thank God for me.
Not a fetish. Not a
Up
fetish.
next, why Metroid Prime is racist.
I said up next why Metro Prime is racist. Because what he thought, based on the projections of usually losing 1,000, either less than 1,000 or 1,000 subscribers per week, it was projected that he would lose, be under 800,000 subscribers by the end of the month, by the last week of the month. However, this stream in particular, and probably because of how he basically told everyone who considers themselves an ally to go for themselves, he lost more than expected and dropped under 800,000. So instead of why Metroid Prime is racist, we got a very what I like about this video, by the way, is that it's gold themed. Here, wait, where is? It's just. Oh wait, no wait. There is a thing where it's like gold themed, but. It looks kind of like my Decennial video I put out. I wonder if Jim Sterling is a big fan. If so, hi Jim, how you doing? Big fan of the Jimquisition for years. And I'll get into that. Now that we're into the actual under 800,000 subscriber video, I will probably I'll be reacting more kind of off the cuff. Because I will be seeing a lot of this after 5 minutes. There's a specific point I'll point out where I said, okay, that's enough. I'll watch this on stream. I'll point that out to you. And then I'll try to go back and I'll try to give you a brief timeline of how his videos have deteriorated in quality over time. And hopefully you can understand kind of why anybody could have liked him and why he is now hemorrhaging support and subscriber base. But let's start. I don't know who this guy is, but he's a grown man. And he appears to be wearing a brightly colored Sesame Street shirt, which makes him look, with that mustache in particular, I'm not going to drop the hard P because you know my rules on it. But he fits the stereotype of the hard P, if you know what I'm saying. So I don't know who this is, but we'll Muppet. Sorry, not Sesame Street. Sorry, I didn't watch any of those as a kid. I watched. I played Blockland and RuneScape, and that's it. I didn't watch any Muppets. Anyways, here we go. This is the under 800,000 subscriber special. 20 months in the making. Strap in, boys and girls. This is the halfway point.
Many scientists believe that the universe, in its majesty, will one day reach an apex and begin to rapidly shrink, recede, and fall in on itself back to a single origin point of pure energy and of pure nothing. Now, as the most important and central thing in the universe, it only stands to reason that the career of James Stephanie Sterling would follow that same trajectory. And it's with that in mind, I want to offer my most heartfelt congratulations to Steph on their latest subscriber milestone. Subscriber milestones are an incredible achievement for anyone, but so few have the talent, the skill, the tenacity, and the sheer raw power to achieve the...
Wait, is that... Someone was saying that this backdrop was green screen. Is this actually green screened? Is he not sitting in front? Why would you green screen yourself into this shitty room? What is the point of this?
Same milestones twice. And I know I stand with the entire Jimquisition community when I offer Steph the best of luck on their spiraling, plummetous journey back down to that zero. And know, Steph, that with every subscriber lost, with every day of audience member shrinkage, your power condenses back down to that single, unfathomable point of energy. And on the day that happens, on the day you hit that zero, you will ascend to your final form, and the universe will know its place and fear you. They will all fear you. Thank God for you. Thank God. Thank you.
The Decennial Kiwi Farm stream. He stole this. He stole this from me, chat. I can't believe it. I am the unmoved mover. I am the inspiration for all. Oh, that was awful, huh? Well, get ready. You're in for a treat, my boy. Zoom out right from the tits. Not a fetish. It's not a fetish. Eating the wiener. Zoom out from the. Not a fetish. This is his true, genuine self. Never felt better. Thanks for asking.
Here's a TV that looks like an apple.
Oh, joy of joys, it's that time again. It's time to celebrate another milestone of loss. Not lost.jpg. It feels like only yesterday that we were celebrating our sub count dipping below 900,000, but here we are, another 100k in the hole, and I am delighted, excited to talk to you all about it, along with some special celebrity well wishes. So please, sit down, get comfy, shut the up, and enjoy.
Hello, I just wanted to say...
I think this guy was in the under 900. I recognize his voice. His name is Ashens, I think. So if you happen to be a fan of Ashens, as apparently he has many fans, enjoy.
Massive congratulations for finally getting below 800,000 subscribers on YouTube, something that so few people have managed to achieve. I mean, like, loads of people have less than 800,000 subscribers, like the vast majority of people on the site. I mean, people who had far more subscribers getting down to that level, that's rare. Look, you know what I mean. Congratulations. It's been a hard slog, but ultimately, I think it's been worth it. I wanted to finish this by bringing in a bit of 90s Godzilla movie tat, but all I've got is an action figure of Hank Azaria that looks more like John Krasinski, and I don't know where it is, so I drew this picture of Boglin instead.
By the way, in the under 900,000 subscriber, and I'll just mute this real quick. I want to see if I can find this. I think it's towards the end. This. I want to replay this. I think this is Ashens too. I want to play his clip because his clip in the 900,000 is way better. So for the sake of posterity, for those who haven't seen the under 900,000, I'm going to play the Ashens clip from that one because I'll just save it. I'll just save it.
Special announcement. Jim Stephanie Sterling has a new
No, this is not him. Okay, I'll play this anyways because it's really funny.
An achievement. They have done it. They have finally gotten under 900,000 subscribers on YouTube. What? What does that mean? How is that good? You're probably asking yourself. Well, Jim Stephanie is smarter, stronger, and healthier than they've ever been before. The quality of their work is at an all-time high, and yet their subscribers are going down. Why could that be? Well, it can only be for one reason. People who don't like good things, in fact, are shitheads, are leaving the subscriber count. They're taking off. Those knuckle dragon jackboot ass crack are taking a walk.
He can't even raise his voice. Like his mother might hear him swearing and beat him with a stick. So he has to like whisper yell and he has to use like fake profanity. It's very bizarre.
And you know what? Good riddance to him. That's me talking. Jim Stephanie probably wants to keep people happy and watching their videos, but I don't care. I can tell you, if you're leaving Jim Stephanie's channel because they are healthier, happier, and stronger, smarter than ever, then you're a piece of shit and you can take a hike. Back to you, Jim Stephanie.
Look at like he's literally on the verge of tears. I love it. Sorry, that's my favorite part of the Under 900, and I wanted to share it again.
They said it couldn't be done.
We're back in the current timeline in case it wasn't clear.
Said I couldn't lose another 100,000 subscribers as part of a sub-bleed that started on literally the same day I publicly came out as trans femme. Well, I mean, they did say I could lose more. In fact, a lot of them have been gleefully looking forward to it. But anyway, here we are, the under 800,000 subscriber special, a truly momentous milestone that by this point must surely take us into phenomena territory, right? I thought I must be in line for a medal once I reached an impending 10-year anniversary of publishing a weekly YouTube show every week without fail for 10 whole years, but steadily losing 1,000 to 2,000 subscribers a week almost consistently since January 2021? Where's my world record? Why aren't I in a book? I get a trophy for this, right? When you break it down, phenomena truly is the word for it. I should get a goddamn parade for this shit. There's many things I've accomplished in my time as a media critic, many trails I blazed. I was at the forefront of the loot box debate. I've coined terms that entered the public lexicon.
Geez Louise. Okay, I remember this part as well. We're almost at 5 minutes in. I cut it off. I watched 5 minutes exactly, and you'll see exactly why. But he starts sucking his own dick. Says that he did coin the asset flip. Good on him. But this part in particular is crazy.
Points of argument I first put forth are cited in discussions to this day. Five Nights at Freddy's was essentially my fault, and I'm sorry for that.
He takes claim for Five Nights at Freddy's because a while back when he did care about video games, he would review very bad games on Steam. And one of the games that he reviewed was this game by the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, and it was just like Freddy Fazbear's something or other. And it was like it was supposed to be for kids, but it really sucked. It was a really bad game. And he said something. They used the same characters from Five Nights at Freddy's, but they looked really bad and they were creepy. And he says, this is like creepy. They look like creepy animatronics. He should have made this a horror game instead of a kid's game. And the guy that made the game literally saw that and said, you know what, if I was going to make this scary, I can make it a lot scarier than that. And that led to the inspiration of Five Nights at Freddy's. So in a way that's true, but I mean, that's like when he was a video game critic and he was actually doing video game criticism and not trying to be, a savior of the trans race or whatever.
I invented the word chungus. God, I really should have.
I don't know if that's true. I don't remember him ever saying chungus.
Trademark that shit before Warner Brothers started milking it to bloody death for profit. Anyway, as I was saying, I've done a lot in my long career, but my nadir may very well be the pinnacle.
Congratulations to...
In case you're wondering, this is the exact second that I said, gonna save this for tomorrow. I gotta get some genuine reactions going on with this. So if you're listening, we appear to be looking at another British, air quotes, woman, air quotes, with bright blue hair. The name is Lilith Walther, and you know my rule about the name Lilith. So just leaving that as it is. And they appear to be wearing a witch cap with... there was a hat that I remember Dick Masterson ridiculing Maddox for wearing. And it was like a galaxy pattern cap. This is like a galaxy pattern witch's cap. And he's also adorned in leather BDSM straps and a leather choker with a bow on it. And there's a bat that's not silver, because obviously silver touching the flesh of this thing would start burning into its skin immediately because silver has holy properties. But a nickel zinc aluminum bat pendant is being worn around his neck. He also has like Joker, like Harlequin, like Joker eye makeup. I don't know what to call this.
Stephanie Sterling for finally losing enough subscribers to get under 800,000. Hell yeah.
Honestly, I couldn't have done it without help, of course, from the beloved unsubscribers who took us to this moment. And really, who can say when this train finally derails? It's been going strong, and ultimately, I don't know why the people who have obsessively stalked me ever since I came out haven't taken credit for it. In fact,
They seemed genuinely offended at the suggestion. I gave the praise where the praise was due. The consistent pattern of sub losses per episode literally started the very day I came in.
Wrong. And now I have the tabs. Now last time I did this on 900K, I went over and empirically proved that this is bullshit. And he brings up Social Blade as if to pretend that it backs up what he's saying, but it does not. And I will now show you this, okay? Let's see. This is 5 years ago, so this was back when he still made real videos. Let's take a look. His absolute nadir of subscribers was 928,000 on October 2020, and then you can even see here how many millions of views he was gaining per week or per month. And then at this exact point, the exact same time, he starts tailing off in views too. It like plateaus out as opposed to rising, organically like you would expect with somebody who's putting out videos still. And if we go back into his history, we can see this is September 19th. This is a real video that he put out about Nintendo's gacha games, which I think it was a Pokemon game on the phone that had a gacha mechanics, which he's a big critic of. And you can see that he's normal Jim Sterling at this time. So we're still in normal Jim Sterling territory. Actually, I think
like it was
this. Actually, no, I'm wrong. This is the first video he put out where the intro is purple. I'll just show this. This is the purple intro. This is I went back in time. This is the first time he did it. So his original intro looks like this. It's with red. And when he talks about politics, he actually warns that he's going to be talking about politics. And the intro looks like this, and it's all red. And you can kind of see that this is what he had, like his sand. And by the way, this is all green screen now. Like now that like this whole setup of him, it's green screen. The background is purple. This all happened right at September 2020. This is 2019 is when he changes his. So this is a full year before his subscribers plateau. They had been stagnating for a year before this. I remember this. So 2019, he switches his entire aesthetic. His subscriber count starts to taper off. His views start going down per video. And he changes. He gets in front of the green screen and he purples out. This background is real. This is like a real poster that he had printed professionally and hanged. And it actually went through different iterations where it would get dirty and like peel, and it became part of the set, and it was pretty funny to see like the physical deterioration as he went and replaced it. And then at some point he just gave up and made it a green screen, which is what he's doing now and ever since. And then this is the video. This video is October 19, and then this video is September 19. Actually, let me double check to make sure I'm not talking on my ass. So Death and Taxes is January 2021. So it's 3 months after. It's 3 months after his subscribers taper off, because it's October 2020. He changes his setup a full year, which is where it starts to stagnate to begin with. And then around this time where he's just hammering on about politics and capitalism and shit, which is what all these videos are, is that these companies are terrible, evil things, and them and capitalism. And then I want to say, I want to see what I got that wrong, actually. What is the October 2020 video? This is 2021 still. This is where he comes out. That's the Game Awards. So this is the end of 2020. Next Generation. I do want to find the very specific video. Oh, I remember. Okay, this is what I want to say. It was around this time he starts wearing purple. He up his video and started doing all this around this time. Like he changed his set, but then he really started dressing like a clown with the green screen at around the time that his subscribers taper off. So this is November. So this is also. Oh, no, I remember. This is I pulled this up and I forgot I had pulled it up. This is the exact video that his subscribers start to go in reverse. You ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for this? I remember now how terrible it was. Get ready. This is the video that reversed his subscriber count.
upon the gold-plated face of perfection, you terrestrial pedestrians. It is I, Commander Sterling, here to remind you that even though things are bleak, even though it's a really hard year, a really difficult year for everybody, the Commander is just fine. The Commander is doing so well. I am still...
Okay, so no, this is what's... he says he's been saying for years that it is his coming out, but I can... Jim, look at it. It's October 2020, and this is the first week of October 2020. It wasn't even like your cosmetic change. It was the wrestling shit. Wrestling sucks. It's gay. Nobody who is a well-adjusted adult gives a about grown-ass men in latex playing pretend. It's the anime of the West. It's a sort of delirious alternate reality where, you know, it's like escapism to turn up to 11. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And when I see this shit, it's gay, it's cringe, and I don't like it. And this is where your subscribers dropped off because it's so stupid. It's so detached from what your streams are about anyways. It's like, that's the issue, and he lies. This is October 2020, and this is January 2020. So he had already been losing subscribers for months, and then he cranks it up to 11 by changing like his full look and coming out and like wearing a cheap wig and shit on a green screen. It looks terrible. So even the people who could tolerate everything that he had been doing that was already annoying, once this shit happened, once they opened their subscription list and opened this video and heard this, they were done. Unsubscribe, you. Thumbs down. Leaving a comment, you. That's what happened. Okay, now you're gonna hear the third. Okay, thank God for 5. Oh wait, no, you did hear it a third time. Sorry. That's what happened. So every time he copes and sneezes and says that shit, that it was the day he came out, the very day, he's a liar, and he knows he's a liar because he goes to Social Blade and pulls up the stats and ignores the reality of the numbers in front of him and construes it as this shit. It's just nobody wants to see this shit right here. Nobody, not a single person. Maybe the 20 genderqueers who show up to your indie wrestling circuits, but that's it. That's the entirety of the entire Earth's population that gives out about this. But let us continue.
Now, as I showed last time, and yet people were offended when on our last sub special I theorised that maybe, just maybe, my coming out in front of a crowd of mostly gamers might have been related to that crowd slowly getting off. I mean, the gamer bros who are attracted to videos saying EA bad every week don't exactly have a track record of positive attitudes towards trans visibility, be it a trans person in games media or a trans character in a video game itself. Yet, even while someone is misgendering you in their protests, should you say they're a transphobe, they'll become incredibly insulted. This is because, as any one of us with this experience can tell you, the accusation of transphobia is treated as more offensive than the actual transphobia.
Hi Stephanie, it's your good friend Simon Miller here, the bald a-hole, and I just wanted to say congratulations on being under 800,000 subs. Nobody could have done it like you. I knew you could do it. I'm so proud of you, and I have no doubt that soon you'll be under 700, 600, 500 until you get to that magical zero figure. So
even as a joke, that's pretty cool. The way he says it is like cold-blooded. This guy is in on the joke, I think. He's in on it. He's laughing with us, chat. Laughing with us.
My friend, keep smashing it. Keep being you. Keep believing. Keep kicking all the ass. And I'll be by your side every step of the way.
It's considered quite taboo to suggest the video game community has a queerphobia problem, despite the years of harassment of LGBTQ+ people and the angry tantrums over games being too political by daring to include a trans character. I mean, I don't know what other conclusion can be drawn when, say, I wrote the Vampire Survivors bestiary which indicated that playable character Giovanna was trans, and within an hour of its launch a mod had been created and distributed that removed the bestiary entry and replaced it with transphobic trolling instead. Yet, after claiming Vampire Survivors of all things had gotten too political over the most minor of LGBTQ+ inclusion, the suggestion that any of these people have a problem with gender identity angers them almost as much as seeing someone's pronouns listed in their Twitter bio.
The thing is, like, how can you get mad over how people mod a game? It's like a personal choice. You have to go out of your way to find that. It's like someone transphobic or like who's not like, okay. It's like if someone wants to, or who is trans and making a mod so that they can make like a trans character or whatever. Like, I don't care. I can't, like, they publish a game and there's a mod to like do gender swap things. Like, huh? Okay. Like, how do you find the energy in your day-to-day life to give a f about that shit? Truly baffling.
Honestly though, these people revel in hurling slurs from behind burner accounts all day. I have no idea why they wouldn't want to take credit for this. For the past 2 years, I've been accused of coming out for the good of my career. It's a common thing trans people are accused of all the time, despite stats showing how regularly they get fired from their jobs after coming out and how hard it is to find work otherwise. You'd think then that there'd be a celebration over my transition essentially costing me the entire viability of my own YouTube channel. Like I said on the previous special, what a hell of an owned goal that is. Frankly, I consider that a freebie for anybody who wants to laugh at the transes, but of course, this is just my personal assessment. You're free to have your own opinion, and boy, have you let me know.
Congratulations to Stephanie for...
Oh my god. Not a fetish, by the way. Not a fetish at all. Not a fetish. Making sure that who's the new guy? Let's see. YouTube CEO Neil Mohan. Neil, not a fetish. This is a valid lifestyle, not a fetish.
getting down to 800,000 subscribers. I've been watching them for a really long time.
Oh my god, they sound like Frederick Brennan. They sound like Hot Wheels. I don't know how to be nice about this. That, like, come on, bro. Come on, do some voice training.
And I thought, wow, that's way too many subscribers for them. They're getting a really big head. They need less so that they'll respond to my DMs. So here's to 800,000 more subscribers left to go. I will not rest until that number is at 0.
What's so great about the spectacle of all this is that anybody with a vested interest...
He's complaining that he doesn't... Jim has never monetized his YouTube channel. He does not run ads. He makes all of his money off Patreon. If we go to Graphtreon and we look at his numbers for this, he's doing just fine. He's down from his peak. Let's see, 2020. Actually, he went up after he came out. This is after he came out. This is at his peak subscriber count. He was making $14,850 a month. After he came out, he peaked all the way up at $15,000 a month. And then after 2 years of hemorrhaging his subscribers, he's still making a very generous $11,309. And it's like he's going to cry and say that it's tanked his career. My dude, you're doing better than everybody. You're doing better than literally everybody who doesn't have a law degree. How do you even get upset? Just count your royalty checks, bro. I'm sure it eases the pain. Is this even, but the thing is, it's like, this isn't even performative. Like his butt hurt over people, like this shit is like a genuine anal pain when he should be like saying, I'm doing fine. It's crazy shit.
Can spin it to suit whatever story they want. Whenever I do anything someone doesn't like, they very commonly retort with, "This is the real reason you're losing subscribers." By my count, there are about half a dozen of these real reasons.
It's because your videos suck.
Each one tailor-made to be about whatever it is some chuds on Twitter took umbrage with. In the time since the last subscriber special, many people have offered their wisdom as to the reason for this phenomenon, and it is a phenomenon that makes me very special and unique. We've established this. Many have argued against my own personal take with counterpoints of their own. Some say the quality of the show has gone down, and in all honesty, if they think that, that's fair. Look,
yeah. I mean, I'll talk about what I like about him just a little bit, so you understand. If you go to his channel, you see his current featured video is about rape or whatever in Activision Blizzard. He unpinned that. He literally just unpinned that. That was his featured video for a very long time. It was a video about abuse in Activision Blizzard. But before that, it was this video. If we go by popular, you'll still find it. It was this video. I would actually genuinely recommend this video. This video is now 5 years old. And what happened? is that I'll just play the intro.
Won't you, as we go on a journey of a game critic sued for $10 million, and the game developer that did it, that actually did it.
It's like he gave up about like doing his job and dealing with things legally and being funny about it. He really had personality and he had a sense of humor, and he put time into editing his videos and shit, and all the skits he did. His skits are stupid, but they're mercifully brief. Like there's a thing he does called the cornflakes homunculus. He literally drapes a trash bag over himself with a hole cut out for the head, and he tapes 2 bags of cornflakes to his head, and then he films himself writhing around in pain, going and he says, like, this video is sponsored by the cornflakes homunculus, and it cuts to that, and there's he is in a trash bag and cornflakes tied to his head, screaming in pain, and it lasts 3 seconds. 3 seconds, and it's just like, if you don't find that funny, it doesn't matter because it's out of the way before, as opposed to this shit where you're watching him do his wrestling promo for 2.5 minutes, and it's the most painful thing. Or even the intro to the Harry Potter thing where he's doing it for like 3 minutes long, just him, and all he's doing is standing and drinking Monster. Like the amount of effort that he's put into his videos now is astronomically lower than what it used to be when people watch his videos. This video has over 4 million views, and it's a really compelling story. It's 40 minutes long. It's a great story about how he made because he used to play games because he really cared about indie games and game development and all that stuff, and he just stopped. That's the main thing about his videos and why they suck now, is that you can tell he hates video games. He hates playing games. He hates talking. Zero interest in video games, and it shows when he does his video game program. He desperately wants to be BreadTube now, but he's not. He's not bred to. He doesn't have that capacity. He's just, built-in subscriber base wants video game shit, and he just doesn't want to do it anymore. That's the core reason why he's losing fans.
I'm not saying everybody who unsubs is doing it because they're a twat. I'm talking very specifically about the clockwork pattern of 1,000 to 2,000 losses that started the day I came out. There are gonna be other reasons, and all of them subjective. The reason I'm putting forth has a literal, exact day and date. A few people have said they stopped watching because the many episodes we had to do about workplace abuse in 2021 were distressing. Then again, some people have said the abuse stories were annoying and took the fun out of their buying games, and frankly, I think that's more an indictment on gamers than on me. Of course, the old standby is still the most common. I'm too political now. Talk about capitalism too much. I've been accused of being too political since about 2019, long before the subs dropped, and it's always been hilarious.
Not that long. Since 2019, I mean, that's where he started stagnating. I even bring this up. I say he starts stagnating for a full year before the drop off, and it is because his videos became less about video games and more about capitalism and consumerist culture and shit. And that's the main thing, is that he doesn't know the difference between capitalism and like this gross consumerism where you have only a couple handful of companies that own everything. Crony capitalism is a popular term for it, but he doesn't know the difference between like oligarch capitalism and capitalism. And so he just starts whinging about like capitalism and how everything should be free and shit. And it's like most people listen to that and think, oh, this guy, this bloke has a poor understanding of money. He just doesn't understand what the going on, which is why he can't be a breadtuber. He doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's poor at explaining himself. Two things that do not go hand in hand when you want to talk about politics.
Considering that this show by its very concept inevitably has to cover political issues. It was always pretty anti-capitalist as well. The problem only occurred when I dared to actually say the C word. Now, far be it from me to hammer a point home, something I've never done before, but it is interesting to consider that the same people calling this show too political these days are the same people that think Vampire Survivors is too political. Almost as if the aggressively apolitical do have politics.
Okay, Carl Schmidt. What is it with that? It's all these people who are like on the left saying, who are literally taking this Schmidt pill, and saying, if you have no politics, then that is your politics. That silence is violence shit. That is so aggressively alienating when you try to confront people who just want to get the fun. I'm not going to go into it because that's boring politics talk. But in case you're wondering, I was hoping he would explain it himself. The shit in Vampire Hunters or whatever that he's complaining about, he contributed writing to the bestiary of some game. And he wrote a thing. It's called like Undying Magician Girl or something. And the description was, assigned mage at birth, she later transitioned to a beautiful magician girl instead. And it's really cringe and stupid. And it's nothing but like, faffdom. So that's what someone modded to remove, is to change the bestiary entry. It's like the most asinine thing ever. And he's extremely, extremely butthurt about it.
They're just really shitty ones.
He's turning trans. His work has been suffering from it. When he started wearing makeup and going on about being non-binary, I had to unsub. It just got too much.
It's like the IQ graph thing. You have 140 IQ, Josh. Like, actually, it wasn't that. It was when you started doing this and this 22 years ago. It was when you started doing this that the decline actually happened. Meanwhile, flip it around to the 60 IQ guys, like, wow, he ugly. Me unsubscribe. Click. And it's like,
He rocked up in a wig and makeup, and I haven't watched one of his videos since. I guess I'm a massive transphobe. Oh, well, yeah, you are. What else have we got? He's always been a degenerate, open about sexual encounters with men. He's gone in full mental breakdown mode and trans trending. I'd support if he was genuine, but it's rather late in the game now when everyone was coming out 5 years ago.
Based.
The lipstick, I couldn't click on the thumbnails anymore after that and finally unsubbed one day.
I mean, it's true. If you look at his videos, let's just go back to the playlist. Like, you can see how the style of his, he had these really sleek thumbnails. He had a static image of himself on the logo and stuff. It's a pretty good thumbnail system of this is the gym position and this is the content that we're featuring. And then as you go along to the Neo Gym, he's got he's wearing it's a different image each time. And you can see the crap on his desk, all the gay boggling shit. And then once you hit Troon, after this, then there's this part, which is the worst thumbnail of them all. It's worse than the Troon shit, the wrestling shit. Then you get up to the Troon shit, and you're like, nobody is going to click this. Nobody is going to click this and wonder what this person has to say about Twitch and shit. Like it is true. It's the thumbnails are viscerally unappealing in a real way, where it's like I have no interest in this. So that's true.
Once I saw dudes starting to wear lipstick and shit, I got out of there. I note the out of there turd wearing lipstick. I stopped watching him once he started dressing as a girl. It's just too weird for me.
This must be on Twitter. The messages are too short. I was kind of hoping he was reading Kiwi Farms posts as he was going along, but I'm pretty sure this is Twitter just because of the brevity.
Definitely around the time he started dressing as a woman. I'm not a 10 by any stretch, but he doesn't have the look. Nor do I identify like that. Just as much as some try to push that on people, I don't agree with all that and stay in my lane. He's more annoying now.
That sounds like a trans person wrote that. I mean, he still doesn't like it.
So that's a selection of fun comments that my partner Phoenix looked for me and sent along like the loving husband they are. It would be
Ew. My partner Phoenix, the loving husband they are. They husband partner. Oh, that's gnarly, bro. It's fucking gnarly, bro. Not okay, bro.
negligent of me to not point to another reason people have given for having a mental breakdown, that I've gone insane. It's not true, is it? Tell them. See?
A common question is, why is the phenomenon still occurring? If I came out nearly 2 years ago, surely all the phobes would have off. Good point. There are potential reasons. YouTube's algorithm doesn't push my videos and very few people get notifications about them. In fact, almost every week I get new comments from long-time viewers who say shit like, "What happened to you, man? Why are you dressed like a woman?" They always think the dude shit is so fucking funny. Besides which, regular watchers may have noted that partly for my own sanity.
I love it when normies just be a little bit based. Just a little bit based from the normie folks.
Partly to make a point, I've actually focused on lighter topics the past year. More on stuff people have said they wanted to see a return to, like publishers being shits. In fact, I've made a conscious effort to return to an older rota of topics. And while the episodes have had a lot of positive response, the subjob continues with almost mechanical efficiency. No matter the content, no matter the subject, the phenomenon remains the same. It's completely independent of those things. Basically, the question about why people are still leaving can be applied to all the reasons other people have given. Why is it still happening? If it's because it got political, why is it still happening? It's been known for about 5 years that the show's political. All I know is this: there's only one constant now that I've returned to very well received older style content. One thing that stayed the same for the past 2 years.
His content is not older style. Like, the thing is, I've watched, I've literally watched every Jimquisition multiple times. There are times where I played video games and I played like his old stuff from start to finish, one after the other. And I can tell you that very few of his other videos get the kind of engagement because it's just not interesting watching him play an old shitty game. It's interesting watching him have a $10 million lawsuit with a game developer. So, like, just because he's doing those other videos, like his Jimquisition videos have stayed consistently bad for a very long time now. In fact, he's like he doesn't talk about a single video. I mean, he talks about like this video about live services shutting down. That's kind of interesting. That's like his old stuff, but it's like he says that the videos have stayed the same, and it's not true. Like, he doesn't actually, like, here's the main thing. Okay, throughout this video, there is all this shit where this Flooth guy shows up in every one of his videos over and over again. But if we go back to, I was watching this video because someone mentioned that a long time ago, this is 5 years ago, he threw a fit that the gigantic monstrous spider in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, named Shelob, is a beautiful, like a sexy, sexy woman in a sexy outfit. And it's like, he took issues with that because, he claims to be a feminist and shit. And a lot of people got pissy with him. It's like, who gives a f if they make a spider sexy? And he did. He really cared that the spider was a sexy woman in the Shadow of Mordor game. And I was watching this because I wanted to see like how this video compares. And number one, it's way more interesting. Even though it's political, it's way more interesting. It's way more focused. There's less bullshit. There's less stupid bullshit in the video. There's no wrestling content whatsoever. It's just him doing his shtick. And stock photos are either completely topical to what he's saying, or it's video game footage. It's actual footage of the video game that he's showing in the background. So there's no weird pan and zoom stuff. It's actually him playing the game as he talks about the content of the game. He's saying, I really like the Nemesis system in this video game. And here's me playing the video game. So you can rest assured that I've played it and I have some opinions that are formed through playing it. But I don't like what they did with Shelob. And that's fine. That's like, okay, like I can listen to his opinion and be like, okay, I just disagree with that or whatever. I don't particularly care. But in his old videos, he actually played the video game. If you watch the Hogwarts video, notice that there was zero gameplay footage, and he never plays games anymore because he hates them, and it shows because he has to have Justin or Phoenix or whoever edited this garbage to take up screen space as he talks because he can't stand and talk because he has a bad back because he's an opium addict and he is fat as hell. And he can't show video game footage because he doesn't play video games anymore. And it's just, it's a noticeable thing in comparing them that explains why his videos are so awful now.
Well, they've not so much stayed the same as gotten bigger. Thank God for estrogen.
Okay, so let's just, this is also great. Just as a general example of why someone would not want to watch his videos anymore. Even if you are like a trans ally, bro, like, even if you can, like, bro, come on. Even if you are like an ally and you want to support like trans creators, if you're not like actually aroused by man tits, you see this shit and you're thinking, what the I'm uncomfortable. He is literally, as far as I'm concerned, he is harassing his viewers. I feel uncomfortable when he talks about shit like this because it's like, it's vile. It's viscerally disgusting. It triggers my flight or fight instinct where I'm like, I got to get away from this. This person is a predator. This person is a man dressed as a woman with big, flappy, greasy bitch tits, and he's trying to come on to me, and I gotta get the fuck out of here. Where's my nearest weapon? What is the nearest escape route? How do I get out of the situation? But he's going to pretend that it's strictly the fact that he's wearing the wig. The wig is less offensive than this still right here, and I guess he's just pretending that that's not the case. He doesn't understand it because he is aroused when he does this.
Hey, Commander Sterling, just sending you a note of congratulations for losing enough subs to be under 800,000. So, good job. Keep up the good work, and let's keep losing subs because people suck.
Now, what the f is that? What the? Where did you find this? Was it on Fiverr? What the f is this?
Because people suck.
Now look, we've all had a lot of fun today, but I'm not going to pretend the situation isn't a shame. I could act like I ain't even mad, or like seeing so many people leave with bizarre clockwork regularity isn't affecting. Of course it is. But you know, after 2 years of it, I've made peace. Trolls love pointing out the losses and genuinely celebrate the milestones because they're creepy and peculiar. It's become too normal to hurt like it did.
Oh, you 3,900 creepy, peculiar. How dare you? Someone asked, why does he not try to sound like a woman? The answer to that is that number one, he's lazy. Number two, he pretends he's not lazy and is just simply smashing the gender binary by being trans femme and not necessarily a trans woman. He's trans femme. That's why he goes by James Stefani and not just Stefani. But the real answer is that he's a lazy femme. He knows he wouldn't pass, so like, why even bother? I get 100% of the satisfaction by just wearing a corset that pushes my greasy tits together, and I don't have to actually try and look like a woman, so why even bother? I'm just trans femme. That's the logic.
It just is what it is. Even before the great unsubboning, I was talking in episodes about what a dead-end YouTube was. This channel as a business asset is basically shithouse. It's just the place I put the show now. Since it's useless for reaching audiences, I focused more on my writing, returning to written reviews, and that's been rewarding. Of course, getting to write content for Vampire Survivors is amazing. And then there is, of course, my wrestling, which has seen me become a shockingly popular babyface in the British wrestling scene. Point is, YouTube is not where I'm ever going to succeed again. I know.
So this is his actual highlight reel. I'm going to pause it. I have been told by actual amateur wrestling professionals, this is a job, that his highlight reel is very bad. It's obviously faked, like to the point where it's not even good showmanship. And there's specific moves that he doesn't showcase in his highlight reel that a professional wrestler would want to show, but because it's a lot of work and it's hard on your back, it's not something that he's going to do. Like in particular, it's a move where you are shaped like an L, and then you flip onto your back with your legs tucked in real hard. It's like faking being slammed to the ground. It's something that wrestlers have to do, but he doesn't showcase that move in this video sequence at all because he's not physically capable of it. So the amateur wrestler said that he hates people like Jim Sterling. He hates the gender folks that are intruding on it and making it a joke because he takes it seriously. It's actually his job.
That. While it's fine as a host for this show, YouTube on its own just isn't all that useful to me. Not as a long-term career thing. And on that note, like last time, I've got to thank the many people who continue to support my work through Patreon, that the core audience has never gone away, that they continue to believe in the work we do here is what's most important. I can still publish this show every week without ad revenue, without sponsorships, without paywalling content. Without that support, I'd have thrown in the towel. I'd have had to. Or at the very least start hawking Raid Shadow Legends, at which point I'd have no credibility. I've had to transition in an industry and on a platform that's notably hostile to trans people for 2 years now. Physically changing in front of an audience week by week, weathering a ton of awful bullshit from the people who never wanted to see it. It's been really hard to go so publicly through something so personal, and I can say this, I've stood by it. No matter how much people want to claim I'm an entirely different person who mourned the old Jim Sterling, I stuck to my principles, produced the content I wanted without compromise, just like I always have, and I'm proud of that. Last time I used the asinine accusation that I transitioned for career purposes to discuss how hard things are for us. In the time since then, shit's gotten so much worse. Last time was before trans panic became pushed, not just
the lesbians who feel pressure to have relationships with trans women. This is something that he threw a fit about, and a bunch of people threw a fit about, because the BBC published this, and it's true. If you know any lesbians and you ask them about the trans panic shit with them, they'll say that they have female-only spaces. Many lesbians are survivors of abuse and childhood abuse, and then they're in this circle that's for women, and you have people like Jim Sterling show up in them, and they're deeply uncomfortable, and it sucks. It sucks for them because they have this thing, and it gets intruded upon, and it feels like they're being violated again because their space is being crept in, basically. So yeah, that's what this, when he talks about the BBC having transphobia by policy, this is what he's referring to.
Daily by tabloids, but on TV constantly. It was before the groomer libel, the claims that queer people are all trying to kids, became a popular activity in the mainstream. It was before the UK government made plans to rewrite the Human Rights Act to specifically exclude trans people, and US legislators introduced over 150 anti-trans bills that ban us from public spaces, turn transition into a felony, and give adults the right to inspect children's genitals at school to root out the trans ones. And they call us the groomers. This was before the Tories started decreeing that all trans...
Wait, hold up. Genitals at school. They give adults the right... No, that is a lie. There have been a bill's... Inspection Day is a real thing. However, the bill said that if there was any doubt about a child's gender, like actual sex characteristics, they would have to get a note from the doctor saying which sex characteristics they had. So the whole Inspection Day being carried out by, Uncle Melvin, who works as the PE teacher, that's bullshit. That's a literal lie. Sorry.
Women be put in men's prisons knowing full well what will happen. Some of their supporters are even looking forward to it. Basically, we've regressed to a really terrifying degree.
Commander, it's me, your favourite wrestler, Benji. The London Gentry, me and Zeo Knox have heard the good news. We've heard the great news. You have lost another 100,000 subscribers. You see, these 100,000 subscribers, they're good people, they're great people, they're smart people. They're just like me. They can't stand your guts. But if you want one tip, if you want one little bit of advice from me, Benji, well, I'll give you it here. Why don't you allow me and Zeo to take over your channel? You see, if you want...
A wee little dwarf, bow-legged minge, coming out, trying to support the James Stefani Sterling. Oh my God.
That money, if you want that ad revenue, you know who to look to. The money makers, Xeonox and Benji. You know it makes sense.
None of us are transitioning because we casually choose to. It's not a bit, it's not a goof, it's not a career move, it's who we are. And despite the setbacks, the fear and the cost, I'm proud of me, of us, and I'm still happy. Happier than I ever was before. Happier than the person I'm told is missed. The hopeless person who didn't take care of themselves, who let themselves be exploited and abused by others, who had given up on being happy and was just filling time until they died. You mourn me as if I've died, when I feel more alive than ever. That used to be weird to me, but I've been trans for a while now and I got used to it. It's just how we're treated.
Hi, Steph and Steph's
Oh no!
followers.
Oh no! He's come back! He's come back! Ah! He's not dressed! He's not dressed! I can't believe it.
Sound quality here, right? Whew, exhausted. Just got out of the shower after taking a dip in the City River, the Boston City River, Charles River, following some of Steph's advice from about 8 years ago, where Steph advised me to become the River City Goblin, to dip my body in the brown River City.
If this video was taken out of context and published on its own, you would think that this person is literally mentally ill, completely unhinged and a danger to himself and others. And for some reason, this is supposed to be like a skit.
And pounce on passersby, screaming, gobbling justice, and attacking them with a knapsack full of frozen soda cans in order to make the city a safer place and up my profile. So after swimming in the river and trying to pounce on people for about 25 minutes, my body starts to itch and my underwear, because of course I was wearing only underwear, starts to turn brown and I need to get washed quickly. So I went to a local YMCA in order to
There's
wash
like
my
a
body.
baby changing station. He's filming this in a public bathroom with a baby changing station. Bro, what the? This is legit like unhinged. I don't know what compelled this guy or made this look like a good idea, but really, I'm getting some sicko vibes from this man.
Body before it corroded. So it's a little noisy here in the YMCA shower room, and you may see shower people. Oh, look at that. Not bad. You may see some showerers in the background, but the reason I'm making this video is to congratulate Steph for finally getting under.
The reason I'm making this video is to articulate the nature of my crimes to the government as a part of my court-mandated plea deal.
800,000 subscribers. As you lose subscribers, it is not unlike washing the bacteria, the rust, the muck from the river, from your body. We all are flowing through the river of life, and along the way you're going to pick up all sorts of things, some good, some bad, but losing things, cleaning yourself.
Is this guy like legitimately schizophrenic? This reminds me, when I was in 3rd grade and I was preparing for the FCAT, they gave me, like, when you do a writing assignment for the FCAT, you have to do a 5-paragraph expository essay. They say, write about this. And you have to have, like, your intro and your 3 supporting paragraphs and your conclusion paragraph, right? And they showed examples of bad submissions that they had actually gotten for the FCAT. And, like, the score 0 was dedicated to one who completely ignored the prompt and wrote this story about a parrot. Like, the prompt was like, write about this, and it's supposed to be like a nonfiction prompt. He wrote a completely fiction story about his pet parrot coming in and like pooping on the teachers and eating people's food and making it like, it was just like this completely non sequitur parrot story. And it's like, Jim Sterling gave this man a prompt. Give me a 30-second video about my congratulating me for dipping under 800,000 subscribers, because be sarcastic about it because it's going in reverse, but kind of congratulate me. And he took that prompt, and this man is swimming in the river as a goblin, trying to actually harass people in his filthy underwear. Filmed it in a public restroom in front of a baby changing station. He says that there are shower heads in the background. So he's in the showers of the men's restroom in the YMCA filming this. And it's like, what got lost in translation for you? Or this is how you respond to give me a congratulatory video in sarcasm.
Getting your subscriber list cleansed, as you will, of unwanted chaff, and I feel like I can say that now that the chaff is gone, is sometimes a good thing. You lead a more wholesome, full life with the people who really get you. And that's kind of the process of moving forward in our careers. Now you're a wrestler.
Where he lives.
And now
he lives in the YMCA because he's an amateur wrestler and he makes all of his money doing wrestling gigs with Jim Sterling. So he lives in the Y.
Now you have less subscribers. You still have tons of patrons though, so the cheddar cheese is coming in, and all the better for moving forward without the chaff. So congratulations. Bye, chaff.
Bye. That's my new name. The homeless schizophrenic has given me a nickname, and my name is now Chaff. That's just my new nickname granted to me by the local schizophrenic that lives in the YMCA. Thanks, Ashens. I appreciate it. My name, call me Chaff. Don't call me Josh anymore.
Yeah, I've got a Trendmasters 1991
Chaff Bros,
Alien
Chaff
Hunter
Chuds.
bendy figure. So that's worthless. Anyway, there you have it. Another 100k down. Can't wait until the next special.
Some fans of J.K. Rowling, by the way, and just twats in general, were really celebrating the fact that the Hogwarts episode, the episode that explained how Hogwarts Legacy helped a transphobic fashion.
That was me. That's literally me that did that. That's me, chat.
A lot of people were celebrating that was the video that finally knocked me down. I'm pretty proud of that. In fact, considering the subject matter, I think it's pretty appropriate.
I'm not butt blasted at all. I'm only get butt blasted by the homeless man at the YMCA. That don't bother me none at all.
That video was the one. I didn't want to do 2 episodes in a row focused on trans stuff, but you know what? I think it worked out quite nicely. Speaking of working out quite nicely, we'll have another video next week. Thank God for me. You know, we really could have done with like more glitz and glam. It was a little last minute. I'd have liked some cavorting clowns, maybe. That would have been nice.
My boy, I think you've got the clowns covered. I think there's enough clowning going on for everybody. Oh boy, a clown.
Hello, come on, be starfish.
If you're into wrestling, I don't know what the f is wrong with you, but this is some retard shit.
Hello, Vinny. I've been told on the 12th thing, I've been told that you lose 100 subscribers. Oh, really good job. I'm gonna do some mind tricks to make you feel. Oh. Ah. Oh. Yeah. Ha. And over. And over.
I know he's trying to do a thing, but this is more retarded than the guy, the homeless man in the YMCA bathroom. He does. This man. This is his wrestling shtick, I think. So this is like he expects to be paid for this. He expects that if there's a crowd of people who come out to see, like, you know, a wrestling thing, that this is what they want to see. And the thing is, I've never seen a wrestling thing. Is this what people want to see? Is this what they want to pay for? Like, I don't know. I guess people who are into wrestling, this is what they consider entertainment. I mean, everything makes sense if you contextualize it. Like, why is everything so not funny? Oh, it's a wrestling thing.
Ha! Smoking.
Ask Ralph.
Time to put on makeup. It's time to run the light. It's time to get retarded on the map and all the right. It's time to play a movie. It's time to run the light. It's time to get the door.
Watch out! There's a bomber behind you.
So?
Wait, never mind. Never mind. Let him get you.
What's he doing?
Well, you see, I don't know what
Dude.
Dude.
British people, man. What the?
Chinese. And a lot of the fastest is happening, so this is a good.
Oh, I see.
Ha
Congratulations, Commander Sterling, for losing yet another 100,000 subscribers.
She's Scottish. She's Scottish. So all those people like, them. We got to rebuild Adrian's Wall because the British people are all. That's a Scottish accent. You build that wall. You just cut the cancer in half. I'm sorry, you're still cancer.
All the love from us here at the Freak Show.
Is that the outro? That's the outro. That's how he ended it. Man, that's like when they start playing the real shitty music to get you out of the bar because they're closing. Like, that's your cue. Stop watching. This shit's over now. He saved it because he knew nobody except people like me would watch this shit to the very end. So he saved the absolute worst for the finale. Let's just play through. Is there like anything after? No, it's just like proper subtitles. So That's it. That is the long-awaited review, live watch of the Jim Sterling under 800,000 special. I had a feeling years ago that when he did this the first time, it would be super salty, and this one is also super salty and funny. It's just like it's gross on display. It's utterly shameless. It's basically telling people to go to the Patreon. By the way, you should subscribe to my Gumroad. If you go to mati.live or mati.live, you'll see a link to the Gumroad. You should subscribe to my Gumroad. Basically saying that if you don't make money, I don't make money on YouTube, but everyone gives me their cash anyways. So whatever, I don't care. But he does care. I think it really hurts him to know that that the mainstream, like he was told for years before, like he's kind of right that it was mainstream to come out like 5 years ago, and since that time he's always been told constantly that trans shit is the new hip trendy thing and it's what everybody likes and everybody supports it. And then when he actually does it, he's like, oh, wait a second, people think this is like a fetish thing because I treat it like a fetish and I sexually harass lesbians and I talk about my greasy man tits all the time. And I think that hurts his feelings, and that's why he's so scorned about it. But who knows? Who knows what goes on in the sick minds of these people? So that being said, I'm gonna go through super chats. I will also read super. This is I'll switch us to shill mode if you don't know. I've never watched this before because there are more people than usual watching. I flip my screen green and I start reading the super chats that come through and I respond to them. You are excused from class. For those of you who like the super chat stuff, I will do that now. Justin Martier for 20 says, Jursh, why are you so afraid to confess your deep and abiding love for Tracer from Overwatch as you have done in the past? It was a mistake to ever say anything. Tracer is a fictional character from the mind of a Blizzard employee who probably drinks women's breast milk, and I disavow all video game characters because it's just like they just use sex appeal to like steal money from men it's like a form of advertising, you know what I mean? And I disavow. That's why I don't mind like when people say like women like in video games women shouldn't just be like sexy caricatures of what men want to see, because I feel like it's manipulative. I feel like I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to advertise to me this game by manipulating my monkey mind, and I don't appreciate it. Now, Mr. 5 says this troonery nonsense was 100% the result of Jim's ex-wife destroying him mentally. It is no coincidence that they look almost identical. You don't know, Jim Sterling had a wife that looked exactly like him, and apparently they were into cuckolding, so that might be why he's so mentally ill now. But if you tolerate cuckolding, you're already mentally ill. Thank you, though. Rungle, parentheses, gamer for 534 says, playing Hogwarts Legacy, Atomic Heart, and High on Life right now on my PC on Ultra to prove a point against wokeness. Had multiple complaints about my neighbors about a burning smell coming from my apartment, and the police have been called. Sorry, bros, it's the end. Well, Rungle is apparently going to die due to an ATF raid on his transphobe dungeon. Rest in peace, Rungle. I'll miss your super chats that don't really make sense, and I'm pretty sure aren't from Rungle at all. Deathly Hollowed for 5 says, I would love to go back in time and show 2012 Sterling his current catalog, then show that reaction to 2023 Sterling. That's an interesting thought experiment. I really don't know what I wouldn't even place a guess on what his reaction would be, you know, if he would be mortified. Because you kind of feel like a person like that always has to be in there somewhere. Maybe it was always a fetish, you know what I mean? Like AGP shit, he wore like his sister's panties around or his mom's underwear. Like, who knows? I would not even be able to wager a guess. I would not put money on anything as being his actual reaction. Tanuki Spellcasting Modifier for 534 says, I won't lie, my wand is a gun and it knows only one spell. Bang, got a snort out of me. Just for a second, old Jim was back. It's true. If that was like his only joke, that would be funny. But it went on, and you have to watch. You have to actually look at him while he's talking. Catboy Ranch asking for 250 says, the word transphobe implies I'm afraid of them. I'm not afraid of them. I'm disgusted by them. That's true. It's very true, Catboy Ranch Wrestling. Good point. Thank you. Abominable Homan for 10 says, Hagar the Horrible may be a reference to Brad Neely's of China, Illinois fame, Wizard People, Dear Reader. It's a bit where he took the first Harry Potter film, muted it, and narrated over it. It's actually pretty funny and worth tracking down. Well, that's a deep cut. That went right over my head. I've never even heard of this. But he says it's Brad Neely's China of Illinois fame, Wizard People, Dear Reader. It's a lip reading, a bad lip reading or whatever.
Thank you. Capoy Ranch Wrestling for one says, Robbie Coltrane, Hagrid's actor, didn't disavow J.K. Rowling either, so the Troon Brigade harassed him and celebrated when he died. Oh, wonderful. Jolliest big guy from the movie. That's pretty base. He took his W to the grave, and the Troons can seethe, but they'll join him sooner rather than later. Thank you, though. Aaron Weiss for 10 says, I work at a book factory that has exclusive rights to all 7 Harry Potter books. I feel proud contributing to TT by loading books onto a conveyor. Congratulations. Few people get to work in the actual munitions factory of World War IV, the fascist takeover of the world through Harry Potter literature. Eat Dirt, Drink Bleach for 5 says, holy shit, I love Harry Potter now. I'm buying 20 copies of Transphobic Legacy. Congratulations. Enjoy. That's going to run you about $1,000. I hope it's worth it. James Sterling for 5 says, you'll never be a real ally. You played Harry Potter. You do have a wand. You do cast magic spells. You've worn the sorting hat. You are a real wizard. You are not a real ally. J.K. Rowling for 10 says, thanks for being an ally, Josh. Thank you, J.K. Rowling. The real J.K. Rowling, I hope and assume. I appreciate it. Retard Alert for 10 says, hey, Josh, first time donating. Thank you for saying that the term transphobia is retarding. We are not afraid of these freaks. We despise them and are disgusted by them. Yeah, I don't know. When I look at Jim Sterling, I just say, this is someone I just don't want around me. I'm not afraid of him. I just don't want... I'm afraid for, kids and stuff. I'm afraid for people. I'm afraid for, young generations that are being taught that this is normal. When I talk to Turkey Tom, it's just well, you just kind of have to live life on a bended knee to these people, don't you? It's no, you don't. Tell them to f*** off and that they're gross and you don't like them. For real. No cap, no cap. W-Wiz, W-Riz, my dude. Come on now. Eat Dirt, Drink Bleach for $1 says unlimited Kiwi power. I'm assuming into... this was a response to Jim referencing us directly. He has never referenced the Kiwi Farms directly, by the way. Not even during Drop Kiwi Farms. He retweeted some Keffel shit, but he has never said Kiwi Farms ever. There's no sound clip of him, no tweet ever directly referencing me or the forum. Which, props to him. He does a good job at ignoring shit and focusing on what he likes, which is opiates and amateur wrestling. Anti-X-Wood for $20 says, I'm so glad I never watched Sterling. He's fine so much, and his dumb accent makes it worse. Yeah, his voice is pretty annoying, but I don't know what to say. British comedy can be pretty funny. I like dry humor a lot, and British dry humor is very dry. I don't know. It's just he just did it better before, and that's why I say my main criticism is that I just don't think he likes video games anymore, and he doesn't really have the balls to fully commit to a completely different style of topic. He just sort of tries to talk about politics by disguising it as a video game thing, and it doesn't work. I don't think anyone likes it. Anonymous for 2 says, what number do you think Jimbo will bottom out? Will he make it to 500,000? He's been around for so long that many of those subscribers just don't have their accounts anymore. I think that what'll probably happen is he'll probably get somewhere, I don't know, hard to say. He'll probably get somewhere between 650, and then he'll just run out. People, what happens is people see the videos that he puts out and say, ew, this sucks, and then unsubscribe. And I think that he's running out of those people. It's all zombie accounts now. So I think there'll come a point where he just stops losing subs, or he starts losing fewer subs than he gains. And he probably doesn't gain that many subs, but he'll hit an equilibrium and start going back up slightly. Maybe he'll make it big as a bread tuber. Who knows? Flam for 2 says, check Jim's peak on Graphtreon and check the date on the 900k subs video. Being trans might not be a career move, but whining about being trans is a good one, apparently. Let's see. 900k. We'll go back to the live on this. Was 1 year ago on May. And we go to this. Yep, that's true. That's where it spikes up. He gets tons and tons. He gets, what is this? An extra 100 or 200 even. An extra 200 subscribers. Exactly 200. And an extra $1,000 a month. Just because he made a video saying, woe is me, the mean transphobes. I'm wondering what that looks like on the actual subscriber chart, though. May 2021. Not out of the usual. He lost another 4,000 that month, which is on track. And then he had a significant drop off on June to July. Very strange. I'm not sure what caused that. I could imagine if it was the begging video though.